That assessment moments ago from the CEO of Walmart, Doug McMillon, adding to the criticism of the president's initial response to the deadly violence in Charlottesville, Virginia. In a written statement, McMillon says the president missed a critical opportunity to unequivocally reject the, quote, appalling actions of white supremacists. However, Walmart says McMillon will continue to serve on a presidential advisory council. This after another resignation from a different panel.
Scott Paul is the president of the Alliance for American Manufacturing, and he is the fourth to resign from President Trump's American Manufacturing Council. It happened this morning. Paul wrote in a statement very simply, I'm resigning from the Manufacturing Jobs Initiative because it is the right thing for me to do.
Fox's Rick Leventhal. Paul resigned only minutes after the president criticized those stepping down as grandstanders. He is now just out of a meeting at Trump Tower in New York on infrastructure projects, signing an executive order aimed at streamlining that process. One of the hot buttons in the Obamacare debate gets pushed in a new report crunching the numbers. Fox's Jared Halpern, live in Washington.
A threat from President Trump to scrap cost-sharing payments to insurance companies would mean higher premiums and possibly no insurance options for others, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says. The CBO also says cutting off payments would add nearly $200 billion to federal deficits over the next decade because higher premiums would increase subsidies for Americans buying insurance on Affordable Care Act exchanges. The cost-sharing payments total about $7 billion designed to reimburse insurers for subsidizing out-of-pocket cost for people with low and moderate incomes. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. On Wall Street, a mixed finish. The Dow up about 6 points at the closing bell, just shy of 22K. Fox News, fair and balanced.
For every gun owner, pulling the trigger in lawful self-defense is the absolute last resort. None of us want to do it, but what if you have to? Have you considered the serious financial and legal consequences that could come from just doing what you had to do to save your life or the life of a loved one? I'm Dana Lash with the NRA. I carry my firearm every day. But the truth is, right behind your firearm, your second most important self-defense protection is a rock-solid carry policy. That's why I believe in NRA Carry Guard. It's the most comprehensive coverage and training for those who carry, developed by the only brand gun owners can trust to have their backs, no matter what. NRA Carry Guard members can choose up to $1 million in insurance-backed protection, plus 24/7 access to a first response crisis management team, an online video library, and much more. Learn more and sign up today at NRAcarry.com or call 1-866-NRA-1234 to become an NRA Carry Guard member right now.
Even after the recent escalation of tensions with North Korea, the Trump administration isn't ruling out talks with the regime. Eventually,
Kim Jong-un, we would like to have talks with him when the time is right, when they show that they are serious about an effort to move toward denuclearization. We have not seen that yet.
State Department spokeswoman Heather Nauert. For now, Pyongyang appears to have backed off its latest threat to launch missiles at U.S. territory Guam. Meantime, Iran making some threats of its own.
Iran's President Hassan Rouhani threatened Tuesday that Tehran could restart its nuclear program, which was shut down in 2015, if the U.S. imposes new sanctions, adding that the program could be reconstituted in a matter of hours and it would be far more advanced. President Trump has pushed for new sanctions, despite other countries involved in the landmark deal, Great Britain, Germany, France, Russia, and China, opposing the move. Mr. Trump has repeatedly called the nuclear deal a disaster, but his administration has recently certified that Iran was living up to the basic requirements of the agreement. In Jerusalem, Connor Powell, Fox News.
A third accuser points at famous director Roman Polanski.
Robin alleges that when she was 16 years old, she was sexually victimized by Mr. Polanski.
Her attorney, Gloria Allred. Polanski pleaded guilty decades ago to unlawful intercourse with a 13-year-old, but fled the U.S. A second lawyer who defended Bill Cosby in his sexual assault trial that ended with a deadlocked jury wants off the case before the start of his retrial, which is set for November. An L.A.-based lawyer filing documents today seeking to withdraw as Cosby's counsel. This after the lead defense lawyer, who's from Philadelphia, asked to be taken off the case earlier this month. The 80-year-old comedian's being retried on charges of drugging and molesting a woman more than a decade ago. Cosby has said it was consensual. Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you cool all summer long. Call 866-EXPERTS, or you can visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Thank you. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 68. Wednesday, chance of thunderstorms, high 87, a low of 73. Thursday, thunderstorms, high 85, a low of 63. Right now, scattered clouds, 88, feels like 94 in Champaign-Urbana. It is the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Jeremy Warner here, flying solo, though I do have the help of three young lads. Harry Black is here, Austin Birkeland running the board for me, and it is David Morrow's last day. So we'll have to have a send-off for David Morrow. I do want to hit, we are going to talk plenty of sports today. Brad Sturdy, orangeandbluenews.com, will join us at 3:30. Talk about Zion Griffin, the in-state kid who's risen up, kind of like Mark Smith last year, released his top 4 last night, and he does have an in-state school. Not Illinois, not Northwestern, but Illinois State in his top 4, along with Iowa State, Pittsburgh, and Kansas. We'll talk to Brad about that, and Iowa Sunmu, everything going on with Illinois basketball recruiting. He'll join us at 3:30. We'll talk some Illinois football next hour. We have Ask Jay, where you can ask me anything, and especially Illinois questions. We're off a little early today for Cardinals at Red Sox, a 2-game series out in Boston. Mike Leake versus Rick Porcello. You can hear that here loud and clear on ESPN Radio 93.5. Lon didn't tell me what he was going to say at the beginning of the show. He did not say yesterday or tell me beforehand that he was going to do that. I don't know if it was spur of the moment, but for anybody that did hear it, you know it was very emotional, what Lon said. He gave kind of a history of the Tay and J Show. Go podcast it if you didn't. And obviously Lon spent a lot of time putting that together, thinking about it. And the Tay and J Show obviously coming to a close on Friday. Lon and I will be together Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesday and Friday we'll both be in studio, and then Thursday I'll be doing the show from home. It's kind of a test run for me for the Jeremy Warner Show, which starts on Monday. But I was going to give some thoughts, too. I mean, Lon and I didn't talk about that we're each going to give our thoughts as we each did a solo show. I thought he hit on the head, though, about this week kind of says why we're doing what we're doing. We both have other jobs, right? This is not our hobby, as Lon likes to say. This is our other job. But we have other jobs that are the main focus for us. Lon running his insurance agency and me with IlliniInquirer.com. And most importantly, we both have families. And that's what's driving most of this is obviously everyone knows my son's 1. My wife and I, we're not pregnant yet, but I mean, we're talking about having another one here shortly. So the time, where your heart is in all of this is influenced me to do something different and to give me more time with my family, more time prioritizing other things. Because radio is third in life for me. I mean, it's my family 1, the website 2, and the radio 3, and radio is really hindering those other 2 things for a while here, especially since my son was born a year ago. And that's what drove me to finally, it's bothering me for a year, to finally approach Lon and to approach Stevie J and say, I don't think I can continue doing it this way. And I'm excited for what it's going to do for my personal life. I'm excited for the opportunities it provides with the website. And I am somewhat excited about the challenge of doing a solo show. It's scary, but it's also a fun challenge for me, the next step in my life. But I do want to say I'm bummed about it. And it really hasn't hit me as much as it's probably hit Lon, because Lon's maybe gone through this a little bit more. But when I first met Lon, I was a 23-year-old kid, really fresh out of college. Now I'm 30 years old. I have a kid. I'm married. I'm more of a man boy at this point. But, we have been through a lot together. And I'll miss parts of the Tay and J Show. This was fun. What we've created is phenomenal. Lon hit on that yesterday. We didn't have an audience to start. We built that up. It took a long time. We didn't really have what are we going to be at the start of this thing. All I knew was I got a call from Lon when I was working up in DeKalb, and who's not supposed to call me. Stevie J said, don't call him, let him think about it. But Lon did the right thing and called me, because on a radio show, if you're going to have partners, you have to have a chemistry. And after we talked for about an hour and a half, I thought right away, I got to tell you, I was leaning towards not doing it, but I thought right away after talking with Lon, I can do this with him. Just an hour and a half on the phone, and most of it was Lon talking, of course. I kind of knew that this could work out, and that there was a chemistry here. There was a yin and yang thing that could work out, and I think it was an unbelievable success. I hope Lon knows that show that we built from nothing has turned into, I think, the best sports radio show, one of the best sports radio shows in the state, but I definitely think the best sports radio show in central Illinois and downstate Illinois. The best compliment we ever get is from guests who come on and say they the most fun with us, and these are guests who go on a lot of radio shows. But the best thing we've gotten is just the reaction from you guys, the listeners. All the things you've said to us, reaching out to us, it's been awesome. I will miss the Tay and J Show, but that was a segment of life, right? You change jobs, you change positions, that happens. The biggest thing I'll miss, because I'll still be on radio, is I'll miss Lon. He's become one of my best friends. I hope he knows that. I mean, he said it yesterday that we've become really good friends. He's been like an older brother to me. And while we share our lives on this radio show, and I think that's part of why we resonate, is, I hope people can feel like they can connect with us. Connect FM was the first thing we had. But I feel like people know that Lon and I are real. People said we needed to argue more, embrace debate. We didn't do that. We just were ourselves. And I got to tell you, at the beginning of the show, I took this so seriously. I wanted everything to be perfect. And Lon made me better at radio because he was so spur of the moment. He lived in the moment. And obviously his personality shines through. But you can't schedule every block, every minute of radio. You got to let it be natural. And Lon made me a better radio man. And I think he's taught me a lot. I hope I've taught him a little bit too. It's kind of like, in my personal life, my wife and I, every couple has this. My wife's more of the worrier. She's more of the control everything. That's how I was on the radio show. I'm more the laid back one in my personal life with her. Try to keep her calm and, all that stuff. But it was different. It was opposites on the radio. I was more the, here's everything controlled, scheduled, this is what we do, while Lon was kind of the spur of the moment. So he's always been my radio spouse. He always will be. This does feel like a little bit of a divorce, even though we both love each other. Lon, I do love you, buddy. And it's hard. It's hard to break away from this knowing you had something special. You had something great. But my family, my other job are just more important at this time. So I'll miss Lon a lot being here. As I said, we've been through a lot together, and we share a lot on the radio, but there's things we haven't shared with you guys that we have shared as friends. We've had some great moments off the air. Birth of my son. Lon was so supportive through all of that. My wedding, my growth in my marriage, and Lon with his boys. I've seen Lucas grow up into a man, and I knew right away he was a great kid. He's turned out to be a great young man. Andrew has always been a ball of fire, and to watch him grow from a little 4-year-old who couldn't pronounce his R's to now he's just such a personality. He's a little Lon. It's been fun to watch those kids grow. And Lon and I have had our personal struggles as well, not really with each other. We've always gotten along together, which is amazing, given how long we've been in this. But there really was never big egos. And this is not an ego move for me to have the Jeremy Werner show. It's not about that for me. And I know Lon knows that, but Lon didn't have to be so supportive with this. When I approached him, I thought he could be angry. I mean, I might be angry if Lon approached me with that too. Knowing that this was going to split us up and that we wouldn't be together on the radio. And, we talk to each other 3 hours a day. You're going to get to know somebody really well there. But he wasn't. He was very supportive. And, there were times maybe early on in the show when Lon would skip shows to see some of his kids' stuff. And I was always supportive of that. I always wanted him to know, go do this. But sometimes I was like, man, I really wish he was here more often. But then you have a kid and you realize. And Lon taught me, and I think he's a phenomenal father. He taught me a lot about being a father, and half the battle I always tell people is showing up, and Lon always shows up. He's there for his kids, and I want to be there for my kids. I want to make sure that I'm not putting anything ahead of that. So Lon taught me a lot about that, so thank you for doing that, Lon. I'm just going to miss him a lot, and we'll be a part of each other's shows, and we'll continue to have that relationship, but it's going to naturally, like Lon said, in the media, you lose touch with people, and me not being here every day, we're going to lose touch a little bit. It's not going to be the same thing, so I'll miss that a lot. I'm excited for the Tay and Carp show. I think it's going to give a different kind of voice. I'm excited for the Jeremy Warner show. I think it's going to be a different kind of show. We'll talk about that more Monday as Austin and I introduce you to what we want to do with that show. But today I thought it was a chance to get my words out there. We shared a lot together. It's been great. And I want to make sure the listeners know we appreciate you guys, because without you guys, we wouldn't have done this for 7 years. And 7 years is a long time. Just for me, that's a quarter of my life, really. And Lon's been a part of that for that long, and he's been a big part of that. So it's not just a professional relationship. I'll miss that, but it's the personal relationship. I'll miss a little bit more, but I'll still be here. Lon will still be here. We'll still be talking to each other. I think Lon let it out. I think it was going to be a surprise, but he's going to be the first guest on my show, and I'll have him on my show a lot because I think people want to hear from him, and I think people want to hear us together as well. So it's interesting because Lon had his all prepared out. You could tell, spent a lot of time on it. I just went more off the cuff there, but it's the only thing I know how to do. So sorry if I talked in circles. Sorry if that was a roundabout way, but Lon's meant a lot to me. The show's meant a lot to me. We got 3 more days to do it after today, where I fly solo a little bit, but it's been a phenomenal run. It's been a great run. I have nothing but great memories about this show. I think we grew so much, and a lot of that was due to our listenership, but Lon and I growing as radio hosts, and I think we'll continue to do that with different kind of roles and different kind of shows. So when we come back, we'll chat a little bit about Major League Baseball. The Cubs, I tweeted this last night, are they back to being back? Also, we'll talk a little bit about Duke. Mike Krzyzewski is just getting older, but he just keeps getting better at what he's doing. He did that again last night. And then Illinois, why aren't they in the top 4 for Zion Griffin? We'll chat about that with Brad Sturdy, orangeandbluenews.com. If you want to weigh in, you can. You can text us on the Chief Hour text line, 217-359-2255. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Tay and J Show. Download the WSJK app. You can watch us live on YouTube. Just search Tay and J Show. And you get our podcast at ESPNCU.com or find us on iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance. Throughout the day, you'll hear from David Morrow, Harry Black, and Austin Berkman. We'll get all those guys involved as well. And we'll go through some of the poll questions I put out there on Twitter as well, at Tay and J Show. We'll be back. It is the Tay and J Show.
Baxter's Grill in Champaign serves up classic American cuisine made with the freshest ingredients. And now, all summer long, you can enjoy Baxter's delicious food and ice-cold drinks outside in their spacious outdoor bar and patio. In addition to their signature appetizers and entrees, Baxter's has happy hour specials 6 days a week, including half-price bottles of wine on Tuesdays and $2 Coronas and $4 margaritas on Thursdays, along with live music on Thursdays and Saturdays. Baxter's American Grill, 100 Trade Center Drive in Champaign.
It's another day. Bob returns after helping the Franklins.
Hey, Bob, how's it going?
I feel bad. Rooter guys lost another one.
Oh, let me guess. You did another no-clog guaranteed sewer replacement.
Yeah, I do feel good knowing we fixed their problem permanently for 40% less than conventional methods.
Got sewer problems at your home or business? Call Stevens Underground Solutions. We'll see what's going on and give you multiple options for a permanent solution. Stevens Underground Solutions, 202-3385. We'll get you flowing again.
Your four-legged friends need protection too. Pet insurance from Beacon Insurance covers cats and dogs at least 6 weeks of age or older as an enhancement to your homeowner's coverage. Choose between $2,500 or $5,000 worth of coverage for a variety of pet health services. You can even take your pet to the veterinarian of your choice. Learn more at beaconinsurance.com or ask your local agent about how to protect your furry family members. For pet insurance that is beyond the expected, contact Beacon Insurance today.
Hanson's Auto Repair in Urbana is a family-owned and operated full-service garage. For over 40 years, they've offered friendly atmosphere, quality work, and reasonable prices. Whether it's an oil change, brake service, or engine repair, replacement, Hanson's Auto does it all. They're a locally owned dealer who cares, providing fast, comprehensive, and expert service. Family owned, operated, and trusted since 1966. Hanson's Auto Repair, 1202 East Washington in Urbana. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. Visit them online at hansonsautorepair.com.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
It is the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Jeremy Warner flying solo today, though I do have some interns in the studio with me. Austin Berkland, Harry Black is here as well as David Morrow. So we'll hear from them throughout the show. But let's talk a little baseball. The Cubs just crushed the Reds 15-5. Now have a 1.5 game lead entering tonight as the Cardinals are at the Red Sox, while the Cubs have 3 more with the last place Cincinnati Reds. And I said this on Friday, that if the Cardinals want to continue to be in this thing, they're going to have to continue to make one heck of a run, because the Cubs, I think the next 13 days, play all last place teams in their division. So the Cubs, they've done really well against bad teams. I know you can point out certain series, whether it's the Padres or whatever it is, but they've done really well against bad teams. They've struggled against good teams. So now they have a great schedule the rest of the year. They are the more talented team. You're seeing Chris Bryant go off, Anthony Rizzo, they both go back-to-back last night. The pitching's doing pretty well, though. Jose Quintana continues to struggle in the first inning. But I tweeted last night, are the Cubs back to being back? And Austin Berkland, how are you feeling now as a Cubs fan? Because, I mean, you can beat up on these teams. The schedule's really nice for you guys going forward. I think it's going to be fun now that we have a little bit of a race. The Cardinals are in this thing. But the Cubs, man, I mean, they're so loaded, and they have such a nice schedule the rest of the way.
Chris Bryant has instantly been an impact bat again after the Wilson Contreras injury, which was of the utmost importance if the Cubs were going to be successful. What I was worried about was the bullpen. The bullpen has seemed to settle down a lot more. Carl Edwards Jr. has decided to attack the strike zone a little bit more instead of dabble around it, because he does have that tailing action, as Sadev Sharma said, of his fastball, and he was trying to direct that a little bit too much, but he's finally got it nailed down. So I'm a little bit more relaxed right now because Chris Bryant's got his power back. I wasn't concerned that wasn't going to come back, but it was just whenever it is going on, that's whenever the worries happen.
He and Rizzo are the last guys I worry about on this team, because at the end of the year, I think they're just going to have their things, have their stats. I mean, right now, Chris Bryant has a higher average than last year, a higher OBP, and a similar slugging to his MVP season. Now, he's got 17 fewer home runs, about 45 fewer RBIs. He's got a long way to go, and way fewer RBIs, actually, 102 to 54, but similar run totals on pace for. So he's fine. I mean, he's been good all year. It's just I feel like we all thought the counting totals would be up a little more, but that's probably due to a lot because the guy in front of him has been struggling most of the year. But John Jay, man. What a signing that was. I loved that signing when they did it because they lose Fowler, and I don't know why the Cubs why Madden just didn't put John Jay more in the leadoff role. Why he was trying to force Schwarber into that, because John Jay is a professional hitter. He's not going to be a star for you, but he's an above-average player who can play a decent center field. I know Almora, you want to get more involved, but you sign John Jay, and he's a guy that can help you win a pennant. He's a guy who can help you win a division. And I know it was coming off a great game last night, but he's been good for you all year.
He has a great glove. He is Fowler without the power, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's just he doesn't have that arm in left field that you would want, but man, he is just that professional veteran presence that the Cubs have desperately needed.
Yeah.
And I think they finally found it in John Jay. They found that David Ross role. They found that guy that just does all the little things right, and that's John Jay.
Yeah.
And that just helps a ball club so much in the mental aspect of the game.
Are you guys worried about Jose Quintana at all? He's struggling a little bit, especially in that first inning. He's last night you win, so that's all that matters. But it's interesting. The first time through the order, and we weren't able to find the stat for just the Cubs, this season so far. But first time through the order this year, Jose Quintana has a 5.26 ERA. Second time through the order, 4.04. Third time, 3.55. That's really inverse to what almost every other starting pitcher in the league. Usually they get worse as the game goes along, as the team sees them a little bit more. But it's not walks, actually, for Quintana, because his OBP that he allows in the first time through the order is 288. The second time it's 338. He's just giving up a lot of home runs and a lot of extra base hits in that first inning. He's kind of, especially with the Cubs, he's kind of getting behind a lot.
It's just the mental aspect of the game for Jose Quintana. I'm not worried about his physical tools or his stuff per se. It's just all about what pitch sequence he wants to go with, I think. And once he nails it down through that first time at the order, then he's fine for the rest of the game. It's just finding that right pitch sequence, and maybe that means catching Alex Avila with him more.
Yeah.
And luckily this injury might help him with that.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Quintana is he did seem to let this year play with him a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did seem to struggle with the mental aspect of being on the trade block throughout the season, which he's never dealt with. I mean, the mental part has never been an issue for him, but he did seem to struggle with that early in the season with the White Sox. Then he settled in, had a phenomenal July, and did pretty well with the Cubs to start July. You always wonder, does that part of it, just playing on a contending team, which he's never really been a part of, I'm interested to see how he does with that. The good thing is, he doesn't have to be the ace. Right? No. I mean, you got John Lester, you got Arrieta, who's pitching well. Hendricks, who's going tonight, has pitched great in his last 3 games. He's got 2.70 ERA in his last 3 games. So Quintana's just got to be himself, relax, settle into his role. But you're not regretting giving up Eloy Jimenez, who just got promoted to AA today.
No, he was. I mean, he was over 5 a couple days ago. So watch out. He might be a bust now. But I'm not worried about Jose Quintana in the slightest.
No, I think he's a perfect fit for exactly what you guys.
Joe
need.
Madden just probably tell him, hey, be you.
Yeah.
Don't try to be anybody else. Just get your outs. Don't try to force anything, and you're going to be fine. And that's what Jose Quintana needs, just that calming voice of a Joe Madden-like manager.
The Cardinals Red Sox tonight. Mike Leake against Rick Porcello. You can hear that here loud and clear. 6:10 first pitch, 5:15 pregame. Leake's had a heck of a year. Rick Porcello, though, kind of the American League Mike Leake. Was there ever a Cy Young winner? Maybe R.A. Dickey is in this quality, though R.A. had, I think, a couple good years in there. But Rick Porcello, we kind of knew that guy was going to come back down to earth. I mean, he was kind of a 4.5 ERA guy going into last year. Then he has an unbelievable season, 20 wins, a 2.2 ERA or something like that. This year, 4.63 ERA, 6-14 record. He's back to being what normal Rick Porcello is, which is an innings-eating kind of Mike Leake kind of pitcher, which is fine. The Red Sox need that kind of pitcher, but there's not been a Cy Young winner. I thought, that year wasn't real.
Yeah, you never looked at Max Scherzer with his stuff and said,
or
let's wait it out. Let's see who he really is.
Yeah, Chris Sale. It's not like this year. I don't know about that, Chris. I think this is fluky.
Let's see how he is in a contender more years.
Now, if Hendricks would have won it last year.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I would not have voted for Hendricks last year. I know he had a great year. There was a lot of luck involved with that. Scherzer, or was it Lester that was in contention as well? Those guys, for me, were better candidates.
Yeah, that's why I was against the Rick Porcello train last year. Yeah. I was saying vote for anybody but Rick Porcello.
If David Price wouldn't have had a bad first month, he probably would have won.
Yeah,
it.
Let's stop valuing wins so much in Cy Young discussion, because this is not who he is. This is just because he had a great offense behind him. He had Mookie Betts and Jackie Bradley Jr. batting for him. You had David Ortiz batting for him. Let's relax a little bit on Rick Porcello.
So this is the fun part. You get to see these matchups every night and see these are big games. Obviously, you have huge swings here. The Cardinals got one of the best teams in baseball with the Red Sox for the next 2, while the Cubs get the Reds.
Thank you, MLB scheduling, wherever you are.
We were talking about this. Joey Votto, is he a Hall of Famer? We can get into that discussion later, but Joey Votto is having the best 3-year stretch of his career, and he's just playing for a terrible team. This is a guy I think is leading the NL in wins above replacement right now. His OBP is like 430. He's hitting 31 home runs, I think, so far. A guy that normally would be in the MVP discussion. Not this year, just because he's on a terrible team. I don't think that should be the case, but he's just getting buried. No one talks about Joey Votto, even though he's one of the best hitters in baseball for the last 8 years. It's just he plays on the Reds, who have been bad for the last 4 or 5.
This is why I'm thanking the Lord that the Arizona Diamondbacks are good this year, so Paul Goldschmidt can get the credibility that he deserves. Joey Votto, I know he has an MVP, but I still think he's valued it so much less than what he is.
Yep.
Because you have all the good first basemen in the NL with Adrian Gonzalez being on good LA Dodgers teams. You had Anthony Rizzo, who's on good Cubs teams. You have Joey Votto, who's been on one playoff team, it seems like, in his whole career. And it just stinks because you're like, this is a Hall of Fame talent.
And that contract's way too big for most teams to trade. Plus, I think Cincinnati just wants somebody to get people through the door.
I think he would deny it. Doesn't he have a no-trade clause?
He seems to love Cincinnati. Yeah. So, hey, good for you.
Skyline chili is a heck of a drug.
That's overrated.
Oh.
Skyline chili, overrated.
It is fantastic. It was the brown sugar chili. Oh, it's perfect.
I disagree with you. Brad Sturdy, OrangeandBlueNews.com, going to join us next. Zion Griffin, who just visited Illinois, said it was a dream offer of his. Why didn't he include Illinois in his top 4, and why is Illinois State in there? We'll also talk to Brad about Mike Krzyzewski, who's doing the John Calipari impersonation better than John Calipari. We'll talk about that next with Brad Sturdy.
328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. 328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. We have pull and we're hooked on you. Tapman's Towing.
Come to Campus Town on Thursday, August 17th, the final day of 13 Thursdays. Shop outside at participating merchants and enjoy great discounts and deals before the summer ends. Ragstop, Game Day Spirit, TIS, Illini Shop, Apricot Lane, and the Illini Union Bookstore expanding their storefronts to line the sidewalk with merchandise and apparel all day. Join for the last hurrah in Campus Town before the students return. Parking validation in the Campus Town parking deck included when you patronize participating businesses.
Hail to the orange. Hail to the blue with Game Day Spirit Fan Store. Game Day is the exclusive retailer of this year's Hail to the Orange t-shirt. Don't miss out on getting yours. Find the exclusive Hail to the Orange t-shirt at any of the Game Day Spirit locations or order online at GameDaySpirit.com. Youth, adult, and extended sizes available in the BOGO section at Game Day Spirit. Located at 519 East Green Street in Campustown and now open at their new location at 1602 South Neal Street in Champaign. Game Day Spirit. Go Illini!
From homework to practice, Busey understands the demands of back to school. Simplify your family's finances with innovative banking solutions from Busey. Download the Busey mobile app to deposit checks, view balances, transfer funds, pay bills, and other people. Start the school year off right. Visit Busey.com or stop by one of our many convenient locations today. Busey, your dream, our promise. Member FDIC.
This is Chuck Lee with Provident Financial Group. Are you getting the attention you deserve from your broker? When you partner with Provident, you get an advisor who stays focused on you and your family. We work for you. Contact us today to schedule a consultation. Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com.
Provident, partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkland with the 3:30 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. Life insurance is one of those subjects that make people want to change the subject rather than admit they probably don't have enough. Find out how the benefits of life insurance can live on for your family. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood in Champaign at 217-367-1105. Zion Griffin, the 62nd ranked player in the country from Hinsdale South, has a top 4 and the Illini are not included. The top 4 is Iowa State, Illinois State, Pitt, and Jeremy, can you help me out on the fourth
Kansas.
School? Kansas, that's right. How can I forget Bill Self? Sorry about that, Bill. The Cubs bats looked alive last night. They defeated the Reds 15-5. Bryant was 2 for 4 with a double and a homer. Rizzo and Baez both went deep as well. John Jay was a homer away from the cycle. The Cubs and Reds tonight, it's Luis Castillo versus Kyle Hendricks. Game time is 7:05. Catch it on US 105.9. The Cardinals travel to historic Fenway Park when they take on the Red Sox. Boston sends last year's Cy Young winner Rick Porcello to the mound, while the Cardinals send Mike Leake to the hill. Game time is 6:10. Find it here on ESPN CU 93.5. Some White Sox prospects news, not trade news, but prospect news. Catcher Zach Collins and outfielder Eloy Jimenez will be promoted to Double-A. Eloy had 16 homers and a 945 OPS this season, and Collins has 17 homers and an 808 OPS in Single-A. Illini volleyball was projected to rank 9th. Juniors Ali Bastinelli and Jordan Poulter have been named preseason All-Big Ten.
And Illinois got the second part of the John Gross trade. Illinois women's basketball is at a graduate transfer Allie Ball from Akron.
Well, there we have it.
It is the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Yeah, Allie Ball, a St. Louis, Missouri native, so Nancy Faye may have recruited her before. She went to Akron, made 13 starts at Akron, but gives them a tall 6'1". Nancy Faye gets a 6'1" forward who gives them a little depth and a little experience. Of course, the Illini women's basketball team has been very short on experience the last couple years. Let's get to the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line. Don't forget, every Tuesday night is half-price large pizza night at Jupiter's The Crossing. Dine in and enjoy half-price large pizzas, along with $1.50 Miller Lite drafts and PBR bottles. He's Brad Sturdy, orangeandbluenews.com. Brad, I want to start this off. After Duke gets Marvin Bagley, they get Marvin Bagley last night. John Calipari, is Mike Krzyzewski better at recruiting than John Calipari at this moment?
Well, evidently today he is. No, I mean, it's just different. I mean, you know, Krzyzewski a few years ago changed to kind of going for those one-and-dones, and he doesn't do it as much as Calipari. I think he mixes his roster more with, you know, 4-year guys and two and 3-year guys, and just takes those 1 or 2 guys that can be instant impact, like he did with Jones and Okafor, you know, a few years ago. So I think that, you know, I think they're just different. Like, you know, I don't think Calipari's going to be ever hurting for talent. So I think, you know, I don't feel too bad for him.
I feel like Coach K's, the way he does it's a better way. I mean, you got to have some kind of base of veterans, right? I mean, Kentucky, Cal does it. Yeah. He gets these super teams, but it's just hard to sustain that or have the right mix to get to a Final Four every year, though Calipari's done so well with it. I hate criticizing it, but it seems like Coach K just gets there a little bit more often.
Well, and I think the other thing is you had Calipari that one year when he Nerlens Noel's freshman year when they didn't even make the NCAA.
Right.
You know, I mean, and so, you know, you're going to have that occasionally when you have an injury, when you're relying on 5 freshmen every year, it makes it tough. I mean, you know, even when they're really good, sometimes you're going to have a season when you're going to struggle. So, that's definitely, so I'd say that both guys just do it differently. Obviously, you know, but they're both pretty good. I don't think either one of them are hurting. So
yeah, these are these are 1% problems, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Brad Sturdy, orangeandbluenews.com. Is this a problem? Illinois not in the top 4 for Zion Griffin out of Hinsdale South, who had a heck of a spring and summer. Has Illinois State in there, Pitt, Iowa State, and then Kansas. What happened there, Brad?
You know, it's interesting. I mean, you know, before he came on his visit, I don't know, and I'm sure you guys have heard this too, but, you know, he had told us that Illinois was his dream school, and he was so excited that, you know, Coach Underwood was going to watch him, and then they offered, and he was excited about the offer, and he set up a visit, like, right away. And but somehow between that visit and, yesterday, things really changed. I'm not quite sure exactly, you know, specifically what happened, you know, and you know, a lot of people, there's a lot of guesses, but I mean, you know, he hasn't said, you know, in talking to him, he didn't say, you know, this is what happened or whatever, but it just feels like those are better fits for him. And my guess is that Illinois probably, you know, had talked to him, and I think he wanted more, you know, maybe more of a push for Trevin, and maybe they didn't give it to him, as, you know, didn't give him the hard sell as much, said, you know, hey, come back and take a visit again, you know. So he wanted to get to know him a little bit. I know Underwood likes to get to know the kids he's recruiting a little bit and make sure the culture fit is right. And so, and I'm not, in no way am I saying he isn't a good culture fit at all. I mean, I'm just saying I think he wanted to get to know him a little bit, and you know, sometimes that turns people off. You know, who knows? And you know, he's going through a whirlwind, and you know, he's got his Final Four. Illinois's got about another 12 wing prospects that they're in on. So I don't think they're hitting the panic button or anything right now, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously an in-state kid. He said the dream offer thing, but yeah, there are so many things that go into recruiting a certain prospect. But sometimes we say, hey, the kid should take their time, but sometimes a school needs to take its time a little bit too. And plus, Brad, they have so many guys out there in the wing. It's always a difficult thing to kind of play that. We saw John Gross struggle with it, with recruiting multiple point guards, or now they're recruiting multiple wings. Like, how do you balance that? How do you know when to push and where to push?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you got to know the inside. You talk to people behind the scenes. You're talking to their AAU coaches, talking to their friends, uncles, dads, moms. You're always trying to get an insight. Get something that maybe gives you a push. You're talking to somebody who knows, or a friend. Sometimes it's even a mutual friend. I'm friends with the dad, and you can. So you can talk to them or whatever, and so you give them a call. What are they looking for? What can we do to sell them? And so I think that happens sometimes, or a lot. And so it's hard to find out what buttons to push and make sure you're pushing the right buttons. And in this case, obviously, Illinois didn't push the right buttons. But again, I think if this was, if we're into October and they still don't have a wing, a bunch of visits with wings set up or don't have a wing commitment, I think, there's going to be a little bit of concern, and this will kind of be we'll look back on this and say this wasn't good. But at the same time, if they've gotten a commitment from a wing and they've got a couple more visits set up as well in October, then I think they're going to be fine, and I think they're content with that.
Yeah, Brad, so who becomes the focus now? I mean, I know there's so many names, but who do you think are the top guys for Illinois, and who do you think are the guys that they could act on after that?
It's interesting. I mean, Talon Horton Tucker, obviously being an in-state kid, is a kid that they love. He had such a, I thought he was even better in July than he was in the spring. Showed more game, and so I think they're really high on him. They're really high on the kids from North Carolina. They're really high on the kids that they've had so many of these kids. There's so many wings. I know that what they want really is like a skilled wing, and then more of an athletic wing. And Horton Tucker would be like the skilled wing, the 6'5", 6'6" kid or 6'7", somewhere in that range, who can play the three, who can shoot the ball, pass the ball, handle it. And then they want a guy who's a little more athletic and bouncy. Mm-hmm. And there are a few guys that fit that mold too. So I think they just want to make sure that they get a combination of guys, because as we've said before, and we've talked to Underwood, he says this, he wants pieces. He doesn't want the same guy. He doesn't want a kind of a guy who copies another guy. He wants a guy who gives him a different skill set, so that he can do some different things. And so I think that's where they're at. And they're going to, I don't know that there's a guy besides Horton Tucker who they say, this is a guy we have to have. Mm-hmm. This is a guy I think they're going to see I think some of it comes down to who has interest. You got to play this side. And if you're third on the list, maybe that's a kid you put on, you see where you're at and you schedule that visit later. But if if you feel like the kid's first on his list, you want to get him on campus early. And like, for example, with Illinois getting Castleton on campus here coming up early September, that's a good thing. They want to get him early and get in there and try and make those, make that push to get him as the big guy, as a big man in this class.
Yeah, it seems like that's the guy to keep an eye out for here soon. What about Ayo Dosunmu? I mean, where do you see this recruitment going in the next couple months?
Yeah, I think he's going to take his visits. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. I mean, he wants to see what he's out there. It's from what I can gather, it seems like Illinois, Xavier, and Kansas seem to be the schools that are most mentioned. He's got an 11-school list. Is that narrowing it down? I'm not sure. I think it's 11 schools that have offered from high major ranks. So I don't know if that's really narrowing it down. But he can only take 5 official visits. I'd expect those 3 to get official visits. I don't know if he'll take all 5. But I would be shocked if he didn't take at least 2 or 3, just to get a different feel for different places.
Brad, is our boy Jarrence Howard in Kansas offering every guy that Illinois offers?
I think he does. I think that's what he does. I think he forgets he still thinks he's in the orange and blue. Yeah, we offered him. So maybe that's.
I mean, Adam Miller, Dosunmu, Griffin.
Well, and you know what? It's true, but I think some of it, those are good players.
Yes.
Yeah. Those are guys that are really good. So, I mean, that's why Kansas is offering them, I mean, so I think they're going to offer it. When you're competing, you can compete with, and I'm not making light of it, you can compete with Ball State and Indiana State or whatever, but if you're competing with Kansas, you're going to lose some, but, that means you're recruiting the right guys. Those are guys that are really good players.
He's Brad Sturdy, orangeandbluenews.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Sturdy32. So now we focus on a team a little bit, Brad. I mean, what have you heard in workouts? I mean, every summer is the best off season ever for everybody. But yeah, I mean, what do you hear from workouts, and which players are you really excited to see in this system?
Well, of course, I mean, you always love to see the new guys, and you know, Mark Smith's probably a guy who you know had gotten so much hype in the spring, and you know, you end up beating, you know, places like Kentucky and Kansas, Duke, and whoever, you know, to get this kid. And so obviously there's some excitement to see him. I will say that it seems like the staff is really high on him, but they're not as vocally high on him, because I don't think they want to put the pressure on him as being because I think some fans are already thinking, oh, he's a savior. He's going to be this guy. He's going to lead us to the promised land. Well, you know, that's too much pressure on him. He's a really good player, and I think he's really good, so I'm excited to see him. But the three guys that seem like from an improvement standpoint are, you know, Tejon Lucas and LaRon Black and Michael Finke seem to be the guys that are always mentioned. As far as, you know, fitting the system, you know, for Finke and Lucas, and, you know, the leadership of Lucas. Now he's more vocal and, you know, a true point guard, and really runs the system well. And then, you know, Black kind of getting a new lease on life, as he had struggled, you know, previously, and now he's kind of got new staff, new place, and maybe he can find his niche there for Illinois. You know, and then the other ones, you've got a couple of young guys who we haven't seen a lot of, Greg E, you know, and then Matic Vessel, or, you know, Vassell, whatever. Those guys, we haven't even seen some of those guys play yet on campus. So we want to, and Allstork, you know, the grad transfer. So we want to see what those guys bring and see how they are able to mesh with the team, and whether they can provide some quality, you know, with Allstork. You know, I think he's going to have to play. They're going to ask him to score some points, and then with the other guys, can they provide minutes off the bench and do some things, you know, because they need a rim protector, and they need a guy who can rebound, and I think maybe those guys can provide that.
Brad, what have you learned about the staff from their recruiting approach so far?
Yeah, I will say that they work hard. I mean, Underwood is probably, you know, he's as front and center as anybody. I mean, he's always out there, constantly, you know, seeing guys, you know, sitting in the front row, making sure he's known. But he's been, the one thing that impresses me about these guys is they find guys, if you notice this, that all the stock risers are guys that they targeted kind of before their stock rose.
Castleton?
If that makes sense. Yes. I mean, and Castleton's a good example. There are some other kids too, I mean, you know, that had really kind of emerged, and they were already in on them, and so then they blew up. And these are kids that they offered maybe before they had that blow-up time. And so I think that's a good sign. The guys that they're recruiting are guys that are on the upward swing and have really made a climbing the charts kind of thing. So I think they're good at talent evaluation. I think some of it is they're going to find guys that fit what they want to do. And, you know, if the guy's ranked 78th or 128th, I don't think they care. They just want a guy who can do what they want him to do. And I think there's a lot of confidence in these guys. I mean, they're very confident that they're going to get the right guys, and they're going to get guys who can play. And I think that's probably the biggest change I've seen, is that they are so confident. I mean, you know, and almost, you know, not saying cocky, but I mean, they really feel like they're going to do a, you know, good job recruiting, and they're going to get guys. They're going to have a good team.
Last one for you, Brad. We talk all about stock risers. It stinks to see a stock faller, especially one so close and a good kid as well. But Tim Finke, what's next for him? I feel like this is a kid that almost probably has to take it into April now.
You know, we'll see. I don't know if that's totally true. Okay. We'll just kind of see what happens. He had a rough July. There's really no way to sugarcoat it. He didn't have as good a July. But, you know, here's my take on him. And this is my take on these kids. How can you be an all EYBL performer in April, and then suddenly you're not good in July? You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
Yeah.
And so, is there something different? Is something happen? I don't know. Was he not 100% healthy? But I don't think you suddenly become a bad player. I can see guys making progress and getting better. Usually, I don't think you change. You don't get worse. And so I think some of it is, I think that probably we as media will have a more critical eye for that, as opposed to college coaches who say, you know what, he's still a great culture kid. He's a kid who's athletic enough, he's skilled enough, and you know, he's 6'7", and he's, you know, he can do some things. So I think you're going to find some college coaches that are going to be happy, and you may have some you know, if some of these schools that back off, I wouldn't be surprised to see some different schools kind of move in and say, hey, this is an opportunity for us. You know, maybe schools that weren't at the top of his list, maybe I can slide in there and get me an official visit and then see what happens.
He's a good player. He's proven that over the last couple of years. Brad Sturdy, orangeandbluenews.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Sturdy32. Brad, always appreciate your time, man.
No problem. Hey, I do want to tell you, Jeremy, I hear you've got a new show coming up.
Yeah.
Excited about that. So congratulations. And,
thank you. Bittersweet leaving my boy Lon. You know how I love being around him all the time.
I do too. I mean, which is really shocking. Anybody wants to be around Lon that much, but
yes.
Having spent a lot of time with him, I can understand that. So, Lon's a great guy, and you'll do a great job. And congratulations, and look forward to hearing you then.
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate your time, man.
All right. Hey, thanks, man.
All right. Good stuff with Brad. Another good dude. Orangeandbluenews.com. Follow him on Twitter at Sturdy32. Left out something from baseball I wanted to hit on earlier. There's a name we have brought up so many times when it comes to the Cardinals, is one step closer to being acquirable. We'll talk about that next on the Tay and J Show.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. New users claim your $50 credit to post a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
The same people you trust after a fire or water disaster will also keep your house clean year-round. That's because the specialists at ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County are trained in every category of cleaning, from mold remediation to the cleaning of carpets, upholstery, air ducts, and crawl spaces. They're here to help protect every square foot of your most valuable possessions. ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County, or visit them at servproofchampaignurbana.com. That's the bright green cleanup team at ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
Are you looking for a new home or planning to refinance your existing home? Hi, this is Todd Duracon from First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, getting you and your home faster with loan closings in 30 days. Mortgage loans and refinancing that's fast, friendly, and local. We invite you to visit our experienced team of mortgage experts to find out how First Federal Savings Bank can help you with your loan closing in 30 days. For more information, visit 356bank.com. First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Get what you want out of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, it's me, your old AC. We need to talk, man. I am out of hair. Trust me, it's not going to get much better. I need to be replaced. Call the experts and get a new air conditioner that will save up to 50% on energy bills. Go ahead, do it. I'll be right here. Whew.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, save up to $3,100 on a new home comfort system. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
Romans 15:13 states, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in Him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit." Hope is not a what or a when or a why. Hope is in the Lord. This message brought to you by the Blossom Basket Florist.
We turn your feelings into flowers. The Blossom Basket Florist. The florist you pick.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hey, like a quarterback's top receiver, B-Dubs has the perfect wing sauce pairing for our Blue Moon Belgian white beer called Blue Moon Barbecue. Available for a limited time while supplies last and only at Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Please drink responsibly. So, Jeff Passan of Yahoo Sports tweeted this out yesterday. Had a great story about it, great column as well. I encourage you to read that at Yahoo Sports. That Giancarlo Stanton passed through waivers. That means that the Marlins can trade him for the next 16 days. So nobody claimed him, which if they did, the Marlins could have just pulled him back. They could have traded with that team, or they just could have given Giancarlo Stanton his huge salary to whatever team wanted him. The Toronto Blue Jays did that with the White Sox many years ago. But now Stanton is free to be traded. And if you haven't been paying attention, Giancarlo Stanton is the hottest hitter in baseball. He has 10 home runs in his last 11 games. That gives him 43 on the season, which he is approaching 50 home runs. And Austin Berkland, do you know the last hitter to hit 50 home runs in a season?
Would it be Barry Bonds or Sammy Sosa?
No, Bonds. Since 2001, there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys that have had 50 home runs in a season. Only one or two have hit more than 55. 2013, the Baltimore Orioles.
Chris Davis.
Chris Davis hit 53. Only one other player since 2007 has hit more than 50 home runs.
What league?
American League.
American League.
He's fading quickly in his career. Kind of came out of nowhere, and a lot of people were suspicious of steroids. Just because he kind of came out of nowhere.
Josh Hamilton?
Jose Bautista.
Oh, yeah.
Hit 54 back in 2010. Before that, it was Prince Fielder, A-Rod in 2007, Ortiz and Howard, Ryan Howard in 06. Andrew Jones hit 51 in 2005, and Alex Rodriguez and Jim Thome hit over 50 in 2002. Haven't been that many 50 home run seasons. No. Stanton getting really close to that, but he's the guy, the Cardinals, that would fit so well there. It's just the question of contract. He's got 10 years, $295 million remaining on his deal.
I mean, let's not act like the Cardinals aren't a large market operation.
That's my thing. Everyone keeps saying, well, it's going to cripple the Cardinals. Really? There's not a lot of big contracts on that team. Plus, they make so much money.
They have the Fox Sports Midwest deal, and then they have one of the largest radio networks around.
Now,
that will help them with the Giancarlo Stanton contract.
If the Marlins, and the question is, would the Marlins trade him? Derek Jeter and the new ownership. If you can get rid of that contract and get some good prospects back that you can build around, because they're so far away from contending. But Stanton wants to be in Miami. He's got a no trade. I don't know if he'd want to go to St. Louis. But if the Marlins ate $60 million of that deal, and I had to give up some good prospects, they're going to have to give up some good prospects for him. That 27-year-old, I know that contract's huge, but he is the perfect guy for the next 6-7 years in the middle of that lineup.
What prospects do you think the Cardinals would have to give up?
Oh, they'd have to give up Delvin Perez, one of those pitchers, another guy, most likely. Probably 3 of their top 6 or 7 prospects.
Do you think?
But for what they need, he's young, he's a big bopper. I don't know if it can happen because he's got no trade. I don't know if the Cardinals would even want to trade for him. But, boy, he fits exactly what they need in the middle of that lineup. It's going to be fascinating to see what they do. Hey, next hour, we're going to talk some Illini football. We also have Ask Jay. You can send your Illini questions or anything. You can ask me anything to @JWarnerScout, or you can text us at 359-2255. You already know Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar at the iHotel is a great restaurant, but don't forget about the bar. Fantastic drink specials and mouth-watering menu items from snacks to full meals, a nice selection of draft, craft, and domestic beers, and just about any cocktail you can imagine. Watch a game with multiple flat screens on all sides of the bar, or grab some tables and make it a party. Drink specials daily, plus Houlihan's is now serving a delicious hot breakfast 7 days a week. Houlihan's at the iHotel. Check them out at the corner of 1st Street and St. Mary's Road, just south of the State Farm Center.
When you hit the brakes in time, but the guy behind you doesn't, get it to Gerber. When your teenager puts the dent in Stu Dent Driver, get it to Gerber. Gerber Collision and Glass. Call 877-7-GERBER. Gerber comes highly recommended.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. New users claim your $50 credit to post a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
It's the inaugural Walk to Defeat ALS, Saturday, September 16th at Centennial Park in Champaign. Registration begins at 9:30 a.m. Walk starts at 11 a.m. There is no registration fee to take part in the walk. Sign up your team now and raise money to defeat ALS at web.alsa.org/Champaign Walk. Donations are used to provide programs and services at no cost to patients and families living with ALS. Go to web.alsa.org/Champaign Walk for more information.
It's Lante
and Mike Carpenter.
And starting Monday, August 21st, join us weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. for Tay and Carp.
You can tune in to ESPN 93.5 or stream worldwide on the WSJK app and ESPNCU.com.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Live from New York, the Fox Report.
I'm Lisa Brady, and this is a Fox News alert.
I wanted to make sure, unlike most politicians, that what I said was correct.
President Trump, moments ago, just a day after condemning the KKK and other groups by name, is defending his initial statement on the deadly violence in Charlottesville, Virginia, while also doubling down on criticism of both sides.
You had a group on one side that was bad, and you had a group on the other side that was also very violent. And nobody wants to say that, but I'll say it right now.
Fox's Jared Halpern is live in Washington.
Now, President Trump says there's plenty of blame to go around for the deadly violence that broke out during protest and counter-protest last weekend in Charlottesville, Virginia.
There are two sides to a story. I thought what took place was a horrible moment for our country.
The president says he condemns actions by white nationalists and neo-Nazis. He called the driver suspected of killing a woman a murderer, but says counter-demonstrators also included members from the so-called alt-left who were armed with baseball bats. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. The president also insisting that chief strategist Steve Bannon isn't a racist.
We'll see what happens with Mr. Bannon, but he's a good person, and I think the press treats him, frankly, very unfairly.
But he stopped short of denying reports Bannon's White House days may be numbered. The Virginia clashes dominating the questions at what was supposed to be an event about infrastructure.
No longer will we allow the infrastructure of our magnificent country to crumble and decay.
He signed an executive order designed to streamline the process for big projects, saying right now they take too long and cost taxpayers too much. For a second day, back over 22K didn't last on Wall Street. The Dow up 5 points. The S&P and the NASDAQ finished lower. On the Fox Report, fair and balanced.
For every gun owner, pulling the trigger in lawful self-defense is the absolute last resort. None of us want to do it, but what if you have to? Have you considered the serious financial and legal consequences that could come from just doing what you had to do to save your life or the life of a loved one? I'm Dana Lash with the NRA. I carry my firearm every day. But the truth is, right behind your firearm, your second most important self-defense protection is a rock-solid carry policy. That's why I believe in NRA Carry Guard. It's the most comprehensive coverage and training for those who carry, developed by the only brand gun owners can trust to have their backs, no matter what. NRA Carry Guard members can choose up to $1 million in insurance-backed protection, plus 24/7 access to a first response crisis management team, an online video library, and much more. Learn more and sign up today at NRAcarry.com or call 1-866-NRA-1234 to become an NRA Carry Guard member right now.
The president's testy exchange with the media over his Charlottesville response came just hours after another resignation from his manufacturing council.
Scott Paul, president of the Alliance for American Manufacturing, announced he was leaving the panel just 16 minutes after President Trump tweeted, "For every CEO that drops out of the manufacturing council, I have many to take their place. Grandstanders should not have gone on." Paul joins 3 other leaders of American companies who are distancing themselves from the president over his response to deadly violence that broke out at a white nationalist rally in Charlottesville. Paul announced his departure on Twitter, saying it's the right thing to do. In Washington, Rachel Sutherland, Fox News.
Meantime, Walmart CEO Doug McMillon out with a written statement saying the president missed a critical opportunity to unequivocally reject the, quote, appalling actions of white supremacists in his initial statement over the weekend. However, Walmart says McMillon will continue to serve on a presidential advisory council. 3 hours left to vote in Alabama, where it's primary day in a closely watched Senate race. The incumbent, Luther Strange, was appointed to Attorney General Jeff Sessions' old seat and has the president's support.
So grateful for his endorsement. I've talked to him last night on the phone. He asked how things were going. So he was glad to do the robocall.
Strange's top two challengers are Congressman Mo Brooks and Alabama's former Chief Justice Roy Moore, in a race that could end up in a runoff to see who'll face the Democrat in December. In Utah, a trio of Republican candidates vying to replace former Congressman Jason Chaffetz, who resigned in June. That winner will face Democrat Kathy Allen in November. Beware of counterfeit viewing glasses from Monday's solar eclipse.
It's just unfortunate that some people are willing to trade your eyesight for a quick buck, and that makes me mad.
He's the head of the Clark Planetarium in Salt Lake City, Utah, especially concerned after Amazon's recent recall of eclipse glasses. In New York, I'm Lisa Brady on Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you cool all summer long. Call 866-EXPERTS, or you can visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Thank you, Austin Berkland. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 72 degrees. Tomorrow, thunderstorms, high 87, low of 73. More thunderstorms on Thursday, high 85, a low of 63. Right now, hot and humid, 88 degrees, partly cloudy, feels like 94 in Champaign-Urbana. It is the Tay and J Show. Jeremy Warner flying solo. No Lante today. I got my 2 cents out to start the show. If you missed that, you can go back and podcast that at espncu.com or find us on iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance. But Lon had a great statement yesterday. Great first segment. I encourage you all to go listen to that if you didn't hear it. But it is bittersweet what's happening, and it's sad for me. I said in the first hour that Juan and I just won't see each other as often. It's more personal for me, but for personal life, I feel it's necessary for both of us to have this break and have something different. But I will miss him as a friend most of all. If you want to weigh in, you can call us on the Jupiter's Crossing phone line. That's 217-359-2255. That's 359-2255. We have Ask Jay at 4:30. Most times we ask for Illini questions, but if you want to ask me anything, you can do that as well. You can text those in at 217-359-2255, or you tweet me at JWarnerScout. Talked a lot of baseball in the first hour with the Cubs back to being back. I think they're gonna roll against a lot of bad teams on their schedule. They've done really well against bad teams, as they should. They've struggled more against the good teams, which often is the case, but just some consistency is what you want to see there. Also talked a lot of Illini basketball recruiting with Brad Sturdy, orangeandbluenews.com. Wanted to switch the focus to Illinois football, and I put out 3 poll questions today at Tay and J Show. And this is something I want to do a lot with the Jeremy Warner Show, which starts Monday from 9 to 11. You'll have 2 sports shows here on ESPN 93.5, the Tay and Carp Show, I should say, from 4 to 6, and the Jeremy Warner Show from 9 to 11 in the morning. I want to get more probably listener interaction, whether it's on social media, whether it's on the phone lines. We'll do a lot more of that, but I do like to gauge some of our listeners, some of the Illini fans out there, Cardinals, Cubs fans, whatever it is, through social media. And I asked 3 poll questions today. And I kind of split up the Illinois football team in 3 groups. And I asked, who will be the best Illini offensive skill player this season? I put out Chase Crouch, the quarterback, of course, Kendrick Foster, running back, who had 720 yards rushing last year, Malik Turner, who had one heck of a year, given that the passing game wasn't very good last year, and people knew the ball was going to go to him. Malik Turner was one of the best receivers in the Big Ten. I think it was College Football Focus had him as the best returning receiver in college football this year based on a bunch of stats that they put together. But I can tell you, he's one of the better Big Ten receivers. And then Illinois' got another one, and Mike Dudek. So you can vote that at Tay and J Show. And the early results, aren't too surprising for me because I think it's the player most fans are rooting for. And, of course, that is Mike Dudek. Currently leads with 48% of the vote. Malik Turner, 21%. Kendrick Foster, 24%. And Chase Crouch at 7% for who will be the Illini's best offensive skill player this season. If you're an Illini fan, the guy you want to be it is Chase Crouch. If Chase Crouch is the best offensive skill player on this team, that means you had a very good offensive year because I think the world of Malik Turner. I think Mike Dudek has looked great in practice. And Kendrick Foster obviously had a great year last year, though I think, Corbin's going to run the ball a little bit, but I think Mike Epstein and Rayvon Bonner are going to get a lot of touches as well. So Foster actually might be down the list for me because I think there's going to be a lot of running backs involved. But if Crouch is the guy, because he ran for 100 and something yards against Purdue. You could have a quarterback like Nathan Schulhouse who approaches 700 yards rushing. He could rush for as many yards as your best running back does. It wouldn't be ridiculous if Chase Crouch is the leading rusher on this team. And though Harry, we talked earlier in the show, the worry about Crouch is he won't play enough games to be the leading rusher on this team. And of course, he's the factor in the passing game as well, which is much more of a question with him. Austin, where would you go? Where would you go with this? How would you vote? How did you vote in this poll?
I voted Mikey Dudek being the best offensive skill player just simply because of how electric he is in moving the chains. It's just that Malik Turner relies on a quarterback, I believe, that can sling the ball a little bit further down the field than Chase Crouch maybe can in game situations. And that's why I'm going with Mike Dudek. Foster, I know it's going to be a little bit more of a running team, but
I just think there's going to be a lot of options.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot. Mike Epstein and Rayvon Bonner will also be big options in the running game. So that's why I'm going with Mike Dudek.
I'm interested to see where Harry Black goes here. Harry, where would you go? Where would you vote in this poll question? Who would be the Illini's best offensive skill player? Crouch, Foster, Turner, Dudek.
Like you said, I think as an Illini fan, you should want it to be Chase.
Yeah.
But personally, I just think that because this is going to be an offense that we have not seen in a couple of years, which is going to be, you don't have a guy who sits back there in the pocket and is very traditional. I think it's going to be Kendrick.
Really?
And I think it's going to be Kendrick because you don't want to say this, but the way that Chase plays, there is a good chance that he won't finish the entire season.
You can see it in practice, Harry. Like he's still making runs and going into people, though they can't touch him.
It's
he's
awesome.
going to get hit hard. It is awesome. He is the biggest trash talker as well in practice. I would think that fires this team up after, Wes was the exact opposite of that.
He's a rowdy guy, and
he's not backing down.
No, it's awesome when he plays that way, like Tim Tebow almost. Yeah. But when you play like that, it's hard to stay healthy for the entire year. And with that being the case, I think at some times you're going to have to depend on the running game. And another thing I've noticed is with the offensive line having troubles with depth, the strongest part of that, I think, is the interior line, where you're going to have Nick and Gabe and maybe Adam run blocking.
Yeah.
And with that being the case, I think that running Kendrick right up the middle, that'll get you some solid yardage, and I think he'll be the most productive offensive skill player.
I just think some of those carries are going to stay down. I think he's had a good camp when he's been healthy, but I just think some of those other guys are going to steal carries. Malik Turner not getting a lot of love. He's the guy I voted for because I know every day he's going to be out there. I know Mikey's probably going to take some of those catches. I think, but he's a guy that can create in space as well. He doesn't have an elite trait, I don't know, Harry. He's actually a great run blocker that people don't talk about enough, but he's good at everything.
Yeah, Malik's going to get a much better look this year because a lot of attention is going to be back on Mikey, and that's really going to help out Malik a lot. The problem goes back to, though, you don't have a very traditional guy. And, I hope that Chase proves me wrong because I would love to see him spread the field and get it to those guys. That would be awesome.
It could be that Mikey, with Riley out there, Mikey became the guy, right? Instead of Gmo. So it could be the same thing there. I also asked this question. I think this is an easy answer for me that sees these guys all the time. Who will be the Illini's best lineman this season? I give you Nick Allegretti, Christian DeLauro, Jamal Milan, and James Crawford. Harry, I think you and I agree. I think this is an easy one to answer.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Nick. Yeah. Nick is he's a strong guy. He's a former wrestler. when he gets his mitts on you, you're not going anywhere.
I mean, I think Christian has a chance to play at the next level. I think Christian's good.
I think
Nick had a better year last year.
Yeah, but as far as probably a better pass blocker, Christian probably has that better twitch. He can get back there when he's going up against the likes of Smoot or Carroll like he had to in practice last year. But Nick just has that get down and dirty, he'll push you back and you're not going to be able to get away from him kind of attitude about him.
He's been dominant and he doesn't lose very many reps. And he's kind of exactly what you want from a culture and mentality standpoint. Joe was a leader, right? Joe Spencer was a leader. Nick's got that talent level and that physicality that I think they want, and I think that leadership quality just makes him further on this list. And right now he's got 65% of the vote. I'm glad to see that because I think people should appreciate it. I think Nick could be the best player on this team.
He is a great lineman, and he reminds me a lot the way he plays of Teddy Karras.
Yes.
Maybe not quite as mean, and that's nothing against.
Teddy's one of the meanest players I've ever seen. He's the footballiest football guy I've ever seen.
That's what made him so endearing. But I think the way Nick plays very similar to the way Ted played, and I think that could be a big plus for this line.
Yeah. All right, my last one I have: who will be the Illini's best back seven defender? A lot of new guys on this list. I had to question, who do I put here? Do I put Del'Shawn Phillips early on this list? But I put the guys I know will definitely start and we've seen before. I got Trey Watson, Jake Hansen, Jalen Dunlap, and Pat Nelson. Dunlap's probably the most talented here, but he hasn't been playing at practice right now. And the linebacker's probably a more important position in the Big Ten. I went Trey Watson because he's been dominating in practice, and he had such a good year last year. Though Jalen had a great end to last year, Harry.
Yeah, I was torn between, because I just voted, I was torn between Trey and Jalen. I ended up going with Trey just because linebacker is a position where you do see a lot more action. But I'll tell you, Jake Hansen last year,
the staff loves him.
He is really good. Florida boy. I played
what makes him
years ago.
What makes him so Westlake, right?
Eastlake
high school. I knew it was one of those.
He comes from a great football program there. And I remember just in practice last year seeing how quick this guy was, how aggressive he was.
Yeah.
He's a thumper, which I hate.
What does thumper mean?
It means when you have to go up and block them. Another thumper, Dele, the absolute
he's
worst.
Had a phenomenal camp.
Yeah.
He's not great against the pass, but if Trey Watson got hurt or if one of those top three linebackers got hurt, I wouldn't blank because Dele Harding is really, really good against the run. He's a hitter.
That's exactly it, a thumper, where you go up and you're trying to run block them, and the first thing they do is they lower their head and put it right under your chin, and that's what Jake did. But he's quick.
Yeah.
I love that he got to get some playing time towards the end of the year last year, get himself some experience, and I think he could be a really good linebacker for this Illini defense in the near future.
Thanks for that insight, Harry. Appreciate that. And that's why Harry Black will be on the Tay and Carp show. It'll be phenomenal. But I did put Jake Hansen on this list, Austin, because I wanted people to know a little bit about him because the staff absolutely loves him. I mean, they rave about him. He's an unquestioned starter at weak side linebacker, which is a playmaking position in Lovie Smith's scheme. Pat Nelson I like. He's another thumper, like Harry's talking about. Hits hard, which is really important in the Big Ten West. When you have 8 in the box with him, it's basically like having another big linebacker in there. I just don't know if he makes big plays. Jake Hansen's got the potential to make some big plays. You're going to need Jalen Dunlap to do it. You're going to need the back seven to make some big plays, given the questions you have in the front four.
I have a question about the linebacking core. How is Del'Shawn Phillips doing, the transfer linebacker?
A lot better. He's really improved. He missed all of spring, which really hurt him. I think he would have been an unquestioned kind of starter coming into camp if he would have been there. Because Julian Jones really inconsistent. Kind of reminds you a little bit of Caleb Day in that all the physical things are there. Are they football players when they get on the field? Are they productive, consistent football players? And Julian shows flashes, hasn't put it all together. But Del'Shawn, at the beginning of camp, looked like he was thinking a lot, looked like he was a little out of shape due to an injury he had during the spring. But now he's looking more comfortable, and talking with his JUCO coach, Jeff Sims, out of Garden City, he thinks this guy can be a pro. He's just a playmaker at that level. He's a big guy, long, longer than some of the guys on the Illinois team, but just a physical player. So at that strong side linebacker spot, he can really take on blockers. He can hit running backs, and I think he's got a real nose for the ball. So he's shown a lot more. I think he's got to show more and show more consistency, but he's in the starting group right there with Jake Hansen and Trey Watson right now. So I think linebacker, with what we're talking with Harry, I mean, Jake Hansen they love, and Dele Harding has had a great camp when it comes to defending the run. He needs to get better against the pass. Most guys do. But when you talk about Big Ten West play against Minnesota, Wisconsin, right, those teams, you're going to need a bunch of hard-hitting linebackers, especially with the questions in front of them. I mean, the
running
defense
backs like Corey Clement, you got to have those linebackers that are going to be physical, not these linebackers who are just more coverage linebackers. You need physical run-stopping linebackers.
And in this scheme, I mean, every scheme, they got to be gap sound, gap responsibility. But in this scheme where you're one gap that you're responsible for, the defensive linemen just rush up their gap. That means they're not clogging things up for people. You got to be able to take on blockers, and these guys are a little bit more physical. So I've liked that so far. If you want to vote on those poll questions, you can go to @Tay and J Show on Twitter. If you want to weigh in, I'll talk a little Illini football. You can call the Jupiters the Crossing phone line or text the Cheap Hour text line at 217-359-2255. That's 359-2255. It is the Tay and J Show.
An ESPN Radio Mike and Mike Extra Point.
Giancarlo Stanton has now hit more home runs than any Marlin in any season in baseball's history.
Anytime you hear about home runs, everybody thinks about PEDs. It's never been associated with Stanton, even though he looks like a chiseled Greek god. But he's always been a large guy. As I said, the quarterback at Notre Dame that were teammates with my boys, Dane Christ, was a teammate of Stanton's when they were in high school. Dane was throwing to Stanton, and Dane said that dude looked like that in high school. And it just has gotten better and better as he's gotten older. So I'm really interested to see where this number goes for him.
Frank Thomas was another one like that. Some guys were just big when they were little.
Right.
And they're just naturally big. Stanton's a big guy. Thomas is a big guy. The problem is they put the steroid guys put the home run records in places that these guys aren't going to get. Giancarlo Stanton's not getting a 73.
Hear more from Mike and Mike tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio.
O'Reilly. If your vehicle isn't stopping like it used to, visit O'Reilly Auto Parts for the Summer Brake Deals event. Take advantage of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Do It Right rebate and get a $25 O'Reilly gift card by mail when you buy a set of Brake Best Select pads and a pair of rotors. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At 6 a.m., 40 million Americans are waking up to a Gillette shave. And at our factory in Boston, 1,200 workers are starting their day building on over 100 years of heritage and innovation. Today, we're bringing you America's #1 shave at lower prices every day, putting money back in the pockets of millions of Americans. I'm proud to bring you Gillette quality for less because nobody can beat the men and women of Gillette. Go to GilletteOnDemand.com and get your 4th order free. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Law enforcement official of the month. It's Devin Watkins. You don't know what you're going to get every night.
That's what I love about the career is it's not going and doing the same thing every day. It's okay, so what am I going to encounter today? How am I going to work through it?
And the Champaign County Sheriff's Department, I mean, good people, and the camaraderie is really solid there, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's a great department to work for. I love it.
Yeah.
I also go out and shoot every once in a while with my weapon, just to make sure I'm still familiar with it.
Yeah, comfortable, know what to do, how to handle it. Because, again, with anybody that has a FOID card and a gun, you got to know what to do, be trained, and all these other important things.
Absolutely.
Be critical. And so many times you might deal in a situation where somebody, you can immediately assess something's wrong, they're on something. Much harder, isn't it, when they're like that?
Sometimes it just depends on their demeanor, and you have to kind of pick up on cues on how you're going to handle it. And sometimes you go different routes. Sometimes you call in another deputy who you think may be able to calm the person down or handle it a little bit better, because it just depends on the person.
Brought to you by F.E. Moran Security Solutions.
Life is full of twists and turns. You can't see the unknown, but you can certainly prepare for it. Pekin Life Insurance Company offers a variety of term and whole life insurance policies that are designed to meet the needs of individuals and their families. Options include transitional life, universal life, preferred whole life, family term life, and many others. Visit PekinInsurance.com or ask your local Pekin Insurance agent about an affordable, beyond the expected life insurance policy that's right for you.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hey, we're welcoming back returning and new incoming U of I students with our Prospect Bank Welcome Student Bags. You can look for us at ESPN 93.5 Sunday, August 27th in Campustown to claim yours with offers from Rosati's Pizza, The Place at 117, Jets Pizza. Learn more about our Prospect Bank Welcome Back Student Bags at ESPNCU.com. I just saw Laura Robertson here, great salesperson here, and she was trying to wrangle up you interns to all go. I can't include Austin in the interns anymore, but wrangling up all the interns to volunteer their Sundays to go. Did anyone volunteer their time quite yet? Harry Black did. David Marles a no. Is Jack Long a no? He's a maybe. Austin Berkeley, you going to be out there as a now part-time employee?
I cannot because I have to sing in church on Sundays.
Okay, that's a good excuse.
I cannot.
Harry Black's the only one that's committed. That is committed to ESPN. What'd you say, Harry? Get the microphone on right there.
Want to get better.
Yes, he wants to get better. He's taking his reps. He's volunteering. He's the one standing up saying, I'll be the first one in the drill. Everyone take a practice or take a lesson from Harry Black, who's stepping up his duties here at the SJ Broadcasting. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255, that's 217-359-2255. We got Ask Jay coming up. I will answer any of your Illini questions, and we'll make it a little bit of Ask Me Anything today as well. You can send those to me on Twitter at JWarnerScout, or you can text us at 217-359-2255. That's 217-359-2255. The all-time series between the Red Sox and the Cardinals as they play tonight, you'll hear that here on ESPN Radio 93.5, 5:15 pregame, so we're off a little early today. But the Red Sox have a 20-18 all-time advantage. Of course, these two teams have played a lot, relatively, in the World Series. They're 2-2. They've split 4 World Series between these teams. The Cardinals fans, you can take this to the bank. You own the 1900s. You won the 1946 World Series and the 1967 World Series. Of course, the Red Sox own the 2000s as they beat the Cardinals in 2004. As we were talking about, Austin, they had no chance. I mean, the Cardinals had no chance in that series after the Red Sox beat the Yankees.
That magic just continued on.
Yeah, it was like what when the Miracle on Ice happened.
Yeah.
Though the U.S. did go down 1-0, was it to Finland? I believe in that game, in the championship game that people always forget about. They got down 1-0 in that one, but the Cardinals stood no chance against that Red Sox team after they beat the Yankees.
You had Pedro, you had David Ortiz,
Schilling.
Yes, that team was one of the all-time greats of the 2000s.
It's one of the great stories, great postseason stories ever. And then, of course, 2013, David Ortiz in his, 600 average? He had 18 home runs in that postseason, it felt like. It's an interesting, there's not a lot of games here, but it's a great history between the Red Sox and Cardinals. We don't get to see them square off that often. But two of what would we call the Red Sox and Cardinals when it comes to traditional franchises?
I would say they're both in the top 5.
I was about to say 2 of the top 5 because who else? Yankees are 1. Yankees are the number 1 team there.
I would say Yankees, Red Sox,
Dodgers,
Cubs.
3-minute stations.
Yeah,
3 minutes to your next Fox
Yankees,
News.
Red Sox, Dodgers, Cardinals, Cubs. I mean, just because the Cardinals have won.
Yeah.
And Cardinals have won a lot of games. The Cardinals you put in there, or the Cubs you put in there, I know they haven't won nearly as much as those other teams. But that's what is there any team we're missing that you need to put in as a traditional franchise? I mean, the A's were great for a long time.
I mean, the Reds are one of the original franchises. But they have not had the winning history besides in the 70s, and 60s.
The Giants?
They might be in the top 5.
Because you got, New York, they were good for a long time. San Francisco. Yeah, you could argue. When we're talking about if we're talking about popular or most, because Cubs are most popular.
Yeah.
They even though they were the lovable losers for that long, I would probably still put the Cubs. Maybe we're biased here, but the Giants are right in that mix.
They have a national footprint, too, with the Superstation era of baseball.
Yeah. Orioles might be in the top 10. I wouldn't put them top 5.
Besides Cal Ripken, can you name a historical
They were pretty
Oriole?
good. They were pretty good for a long time, but not recently. I mean, Atlanta's probably too young. Philadelphia, top 10, not top 5 or 6 for me.
No.
Yeah, that's probably what I do. The Giants-Cubs is an interesting argument. We'd have to break that down a little bit more, but yeah, I'd probably put the Cardinals at number 4 in that list when you put the Dodgers, Yankees, and Red Sox. So the Cardinals have one more than the Red Sox. I just think when you think of traditional program, you could argue the Cardinals could be right in there with the Red Sox as well. If you want to weigh in, 217-359-2255. That's 359-2255. When we come back, Ask Jay. Got a lot of great questions, a lot of good Illini questions, as well as Ask Me Anything. You can squeeze in those at 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255. You can text your questions in there. Yeah, George just said drops off after the top 6 teams. I had a couple people say Pirates. You could put them in there as well, and the Giants as well. So, yeah, I think the Pirates would probably be in that top 8, top 7 as well. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255.
You've heard me doing my hobby. Roll 'em up! Warner Rap, go! I also have a real job as co-owner of 2 insurance agencies with more than 50 years of service to Central Illinois. Hey, it's Lon Tay, and I'm excited to do business with you. For a free business, auto, home, or life insurance quote, call me at 832-2411. Partnering with Pekin Insurance, you're guaranteed to receive a competitive quote. Going beyond the expected with Pekin Insurance and the Hillard Agency. Call 832-2411.
Delicious food, cold brews, great music and art, kids zone and more. Join us along with the Champaign Park District for the Taste of Champaign-Urbana happening this Friday and Saturday in Westside Park, Champaign. Try something new. Get a sample of local favorites as you explore exciting food vendors. Hear free live music featuring Rock Country Act, Murphy 500, and the danceable Sun Stereo. The Taste of Champaign-Urbana has something for everyone, so come to Westside Park this Friday and Saturday and be ready to eat. Get more details online now at champaignparks.com. That's champaignparks.com.
Going on 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. And while you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook, ROCHS in St. Joseph.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. New users claim your $50 credit to post a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
I'm Chris Drummond, owner of Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning. Since 2006, we've provided the best professional carpet cleaning in the Champaign-Urbana area. At Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning, we use the Rotovac carpet restoration system to assure the best carpet and upholstery cleaning service. For just $99, we offer carpet cleaning for 3 rooms or 4 rooms at $29.95 per room. Google Drummond Carpet Cleaning and see what our customers have been saying, or call for a free estimate at 217-722-3663. Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning. If we didn't clean it, it isn't clean.
Ask the expert with Stevie J Broadcasting. If you're looking to refurbish your house, our friends at Country Arbor's Nursery and Kramer Siding and Windows will have your house the envy of the block. And while you're at it, tweak the inside with flooring surfaces and Lance Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Support our U of I community at the U of I Community Credit Union. Then make sure you're looking good with clothing from Game Day Spirit and a beautiful smile from West Main Dental. Ask an expert. Visit StevieJay.com.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkland with the 430 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think their car insurance costs more, but with discounts up to 40%, you may find it even costs less. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood in Champaign, Illinois at 888-367-1105 today. Zion Griffin, the 62nd ranked player in the country, according to 24/7 Composite from Hinsdale South, has a top 4, and the Illini are not included. The top 4 is Iowa State, Illinois State, Pitt, and Kansas. The Cubs bats looked alive last night. They defeated the Reds 15-5. Bryant was 2 for 4 with a double and a homer. Rizzo and Baez both went deep, but the real story was John Jay. He was a homer away from the cycle. The Cubs and Reds tonight, it's Luis Castillo versus Kyle Hendricks. Game time is at 7:05. Catch it on US 105.9. The Cardinals travel to historic Fenway Park for when they face the Red Sox. Boston sends last year's Cy Young winner Rick Porcello to the mound, while the Cardinals send Mike Leake to the hill. Game times at 6:10. Find it here on ESPN CU 93.5. Some White Sox prospect news. Catcher Zach Collins and outfielders Eloy Jimenez will be promoted to Double-A. Eloy has 16 homers and a 945 OPS this season, while Collins has 17 homers and an 808 OPS in Single-A. Illini volleyball was predicted to ranked 9th in the preseason poll. Juniors Ali Bastinelli and Jordan Poulter have been named preseason All-Big Ten.
Congrats to Beelan Taylor from Champaign. Her and her 3 kids heading to Disney World on an all-expense paid trip, courtesy of this station, along with travel by Beth, Jets Pizza, CarX, The Suites at 3rd, and Country Financial agent Jesse DeHaan. It is the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. We got Ask Jay coming up. Just sent those questions to Austin. He'll have those for me. But we're also welcoming back and returning new incoming U of I students with our Prospect Bank Welcome Student Bags. Look for us Sunday, August 27th in Campus Town to claim yours with offers from Vapors eSigs LLC, Salad Meister, and the Tower at 3rd. Learn more about our Prospect Bank Welcome Back Student Bags at ESPNCU.com. We got away from doing Ask Jay for a while on this show. It's just another one of those things where you have a segment and it slowly kind of dies out. But we'll probably do it more with the Jeremy Warner Show, which starts 9 to 11 on Monday. Gave my thoughts about the Tay and J Show and what we've accomplished at the beginning of the show, and more importantly, what this is like for Lon and I personally. You know, we share a lot on this show, and Lon shared a lot yesterday, and I actually had planned already to talk about that before he made that great breakdown yesterday of how he felt, the emotions he's going through and the emotions we're going through, which is really bittersweet about the end of the Tay and J Show, but a start of a new era. I gave those at the beginning of the show if you want to hear that. So we both gave our thoughts, and we'll have 3 more days, the next couple of days, to talk about that, talk about where we're going. We'll also talk sports with you throughout the process. But I think we still have an Ask Jay thing on there.
I think so. I see it on the computer. So
all right, let's try
what happens.
There it is.
Let me ask you something. Ask him questions. Ask him rhetorical questions. Doesn't matter. Anything.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Rest, Neo. The answers are coming.
All right, this is Ask Jay, brought to you by, today, since we don't have Tay's Take, DP Dough. You can visit them online at dpdough.com. You can create your own calzone and a Maui Wowie zone. You can try that out. Just go to dpdough.com to place your order. Austin Berkland, you got our Ask Jay questions. We got a lot of great ones from our listeners.
Yes, the first one comes from Chris. What happened with Zion Griffin?
Illinois didn't do well on the visit. He visited Illinois last week, and something happened to where he didn't like their pitch. And we had Brad Sturdy on earlier in the show, and all of us are speculating. We don't know exactly what went wrong, but it sounds like he didn't feel like an absolute priority for Illinois. And given all the targets they have in the wing, that makes a little bit of sense. Now, you can argue, should Illinois, since Zion said, at least publicly, that Illinois was a dream offer, this guy is a top 100 recruit by most websites that have ranked him, number 62 in the composite right now, one of the best players in the state that seems to have a skill set that Brad Underwood and a mentality that Brad Underwood would want. Should you have made it clear that, hey, we want you, jump on board now, you're a top priority? They didn't seem to get that across, and that seemed to be a misstep, but we'll see who they get. Can they still get Taylor Norton Tucker along with Io DeSumo? Some people think not. But they have other targets, whether it's Silvio D'Souza, a bunch of other guys. Landers Nowley, we've talked about as a shooter. But he seemed like a guy who could fit, and not all visits go great. Even if recruits say, oh, it was great, it was a perfect visit, it didn't seem to go very well between Illinois. They seem to have a misstep there, or maybe they just didn't prioritize him, have him as the top priority compared to some other recruits like a Taylor Norton Tucker.
All right, next question is from Illini Mo. Do you think Lovey will clear up some room for the 2019 class by telling some players they aren't good enough to play here?
I don't think that's the discussion. That rarely happens. There will be attrition. I expect this class, which is currently pegged for 17 scholarships available, that'd be 2018 for this class. I expect this class to go more towards 20. There will be players, especially players from the 2016 class who were recruited by Bill Cubitt, that just see the writing on the wall, that I probably won't play here. I'm getting recruited over. I'm third or fourth on the depth chart, third, fourth string on the depth chart. Maybe I should go elsewhere. There's also redshirt juniors who are not guaranteed 5 years of scholarship. This happens a lot now with the grad transfers where they don't have to give them a fifth-year scholarship, and those guys can move on. We've seen that in recent years. So I expect a couple more scholarships to open up for the 2018 class. There's always attrition. There's always more than what they originally planned for scholarship-wise. So whether it's kids getting in trouble or kids transferring elsewhere, I do expect that. But the conversation is more, hey, this is where we see your role. We're recruiting more guys at this position. We don't see you playing a lot. Most kids, they hear that, they're deciding to go elsewhere. But they don't have to. I mean, kids might just want to go to school here. But usually a couple kids, if that happens, they move on.
All right. Sean asks, get ready for this one.
All right.
If the season started today, what is your starting offense, defense, and special teams for the Illini?
That's a long one. We'll go through it quick. Quarterback, Chase Crouch. Unquestioned. Running back, Kendrick Foster. They usually don't employ a fullback. Tight end, I'm going Nate Eckerd, who played fullback last year, just a reliable guy, decent blocker. I expect that's a rotation there. There'll be plenty of guys to play. Wide receiver, you got Malik Turner, Mike Dudek. I'm going to go Ricky Smalling. Sam Mays will play a lot, but I think Ricky Smalling is the guy they'll go with there. Offensive line, Christian DeLauro, Nick Allegretti, Gabe Meganson, Larry Boyd, and I'm going to go Doug Kramer. I think Doug Kramer gets the first opportunity. If he struggles or the Illinois offensive line doesn't do well, I think that's when guys like Alex Palczewski, Adam Solomon could get a look. But I expect that to be your offense. Defense, James Crawford, Jamal Milan, Tamir Oliver, and Sean Adesanya on the defensive line. I think Bobby Roundtree will eventually push. I think Tito Odenigbo can be a starter quality guy. Jake Hansen, Trey Watson at linebacker, with Delshawn Phillips at linebacker as well. Corner's interesting because Jalen Dunlap should be if he's healthy. If not, I think it would be Cam Watkins, who's moved from nickel to corner again, boundary corner, and Tony Adams. And then Bennett Williams, the freshman safety, I think is going to start for you, along with Pat Nelson. Kicker, I'm going to stay with Chase McLaughlin, even though James McCord is pushing him. Punter, Australian Blake Hayes. Kick returner and punt returner is an interesting one. I'm going to go with Malik Turner as your punt returner because he can catch the ball. And then kick returner, I'm going to go Carmani Green.
Okay.
There. Is that good?
Yes. You were just Lovie Smith. Now you're going to be Brad Underwood.
Okay.
Dave asked, how about a breakdown of minutes by player per game for the basketball team at the end of the season?
Okay, I didn't have enough time to do the math on all this. So the math is going to be off because there's only, 200 minutes in a game, right, for everybody to play.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, we'll start at the post. I'm going to go Michael Finke, 24 minutes per game. LaRon Black, 24 minutes per game. I'll go LaRon 25. Greg Boyd Bowden, I'm going to give 12 minutes a game, which is a lot for a young guy. Kipper Nichols, I'll give 15 to 16, somewhere in there. I think he'll play a lot more than people expect. Mark Allstork, 28 to 30. Mark Smith, 28 to 30. That's a lot of minutes. There's a lot of minutes for those two. But I'm going to go with a lot for those guys. Tijon Lucas, 26. Trent Frazier, 15. I feel like I'm way off now. Aaron Jordan, 8. Matique Vessel, I'm going to go red shirt. And who am I missing? DeMonte Williams, 6 to 8. I think he could play more, but I just don't know if he's going to be healthy or he's going to get in front of those guys. Am I missing anybody?
I don't think so.
I think that's about right. I think all Stork and Smith are going to be Tijon, going to be the big minute guys, and the post players always just play fewer minutes.
All right, the next question comes from AWAIS. Sorry.
Something on Twitter.
Yes. Are we going to have enough of a passing game to keep the defenses honest? That's referring to Illinois.
That's a great question. Here's my thing. Chase, I don't worry about a lot. I really don't worry about Chase other than staying healthy and turnovers. I told Lon that yesterday. My bigger question with the passing game is the offensive line. Can the offensive line block long enough to get that passing game going? The other thing you have, though, is if it doesn't, Chase can run around and create some opportunities. I think this offense is going to be better than last year. It has to be, right? But he just gives you a different dimension if Chase is healthy. That's the big thing. If Chase is healthy, there's just a different dimension where it's 11 on 11 football. It's not 11 on 10. So even if the passing game isn't as pretty, it's going to be more efficient and more effective because you have a guy who can run, you're going to have a good running attack, and you got a guy who can move and create for his wide receivers. Plus, there's just better receivers out there. There's way more talent out there. So I'm going to answer yes. Is it good enough to win 5-6 games? Probably not. But I do think this offense will be much better than it was last year.
All right, a 217 texter asks, what percentage do you give Cardinals to go after Stanton, who just cleared waivers? I know you love these percentage questions.
Oh, percentage, I'd probably go lower than 10, right? I just think because you probably lower than 5 because the money that's involved, that's very un-Cardinal-like, right? It's very un-Mazalok-like to spend that much money on one player, and just the risk that is involved in taking on that kind of contract is very un-Cardinal-like. So if they don't do it, I could understand. It's just he fits exactly what you need. He could be your star player, your star attraction for a really long time. But also, Stanton's got a no-trade clause. And it seems like he either wants to play in Florida or California. And when you got that no-trade clause, you have it for a reason, right? You can pick where you want to play. You've earned that power. You've been given that power. It sounds like he doesn't want to play in the Midwest. So even if the Cardinals want him and can get a package for him, sounds like he might not want to play in St. Louis. So I'd put the percentage very, very low. If I'm the Cardinals, though, I'm definitely inquiring about it and seeing what it would take to get it.
All right, the next question comes from @TCR Brad, our friend Brad Replinger. He was going to ask a golf question, but then he decided to go a different route. What is the most iconic guitar solo riff of all time?
Ooh. See, here's what I do. Carp answered this, and he said, "Can't Get No," which is Satisfaction. Down, 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 down. And the solo, he said, "Stairway to Heaven." I will defer to Carp on that. In my lifetime, though, I would go the riff from Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. Down, 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 down. Because when that plays, everybody knows what it is. No matter what music you like, and that riff ended a style of music, right? That riff ended Lante's favorite style of rock, the hair metal. Like, it was done with that riff. It just changed music at that time, and obviously it's left an indelible impact on everybody. So that song is probably the most iconic. If I had to go solo, man, there's ones I like probably more, but you have to go with a Slash. Whether it's Sweet Child of Mine, I know the riff's big, but the solo involved in that. He had some good ones with Velvet Revolver. He had some really good ones. The one in Slither's really good, but something from Slash has to be it because he's ridiculous.
All right, the final one. Cade asks, what reality competition show would you have the best chance of winning?
All right, we discussed this during the break, and this one's really difficult because I'm not a great singer, so American Idol, The Voice, out. I enjoy dancing, and I make a fool of myself doing it when I have a few pops in me, but I'm not like So You Think You Can Dance, those kind of shows, whatever it is. And then when it comes to, like, you love these shows, right, Austin?
Yeah, CBS reality shows.
Survivor, which is in, season 28? Or whatever it is. You love Big Brother.
Oh, I'm a huge
Which
Big
I
Brother
still
fan.
don't understand what the point of Big Brother is. Like, what is What is the show about?
So 18 people all live in a house together, and then you fight for head of household, and then the head of household nominates 2 people for eviction every week.
So it's very political.
It's political.
Like it's inter-house political.
Yes, and you got to keep yourself in the house by using your physical characteristics, your social game, or your mental capacity.
Yeah, your dream is to be on Big Brother.
Yeah.
Like if you could do one thing in your life, would Big Brother contestant be number 1?
Yes, I had a dream I was a Big Brother contestant last night, actually.
Did you really?
Yes.
Okay, so Austin thinks about this a lot. I don't think I do I can do that. I'm not a very good conniver.
You could bro down, though, with a lot of guys.
I could definitely, I could win. I am very good at broing down and winning over some dudes, right? I don't think I could do it with the women in the show. I'm just not a macker. I can't do that. Like, I could become people's friends, whatever it is. I think I'd do okay in those shows. I don't think I'd win it. Mine would probably be more like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with stupid trivia or Family Feud, which is basically a list, right? It's putting Lon with a list. It's hard to do that at the top of your head, but I would be probably pretty good at those shows. So I'd go more game show.
How would you and Tiff or you and Lon do in The Amazing Race?
I think Tiff and I would tear each other's heads off. I think Lon and I would do better. I don't know what that says about me and my marriage or Lon and I's relationship, but I would probably do better with Lon.
I could just see you and Lon in the middle of Spain.
Yeah. The issue is I could probably be a better, like with my wife, I could follow her. Like she'd be the leader, she'd be doing that, but it'd stress me out. I would definitely be the leader with Lon.
Yes.
It just, I think there'd be a little less tension. I mean, anybody's and their spouse together and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
it seems like a terrible idea.
Traveling with family is brutal. Sometimes.
Right, when it's when it's a friend, it's just a little more relaxed. There's a little less tension.
Kick your shoes off and just relax.
I think I'd do okay with those shows. I don't know if I'd win them. I'd rather do like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire kind of thing.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for all those questions with Ask Jay. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255. I just got a text from the man, the myth, the legend, Lauren Tate.
Oh, my.
He said Joe Walsh of the Eagles, end of Hotel California. Best solo.
I mean, I'm
not going to argue. I'm not going to argue. It's Lauren Tate. That is the answer. If you want to weigh in, 217-359-2255. We have some news when it comes to Illinois basketball recruiting when we come back.
It's Lon Tay from ESPN 93.5, and whenever I need work done on my car, I go to Long's Garage. No, not Lon's Garage, Long's Garage in Urbana on Main Street just east of Schnucks. From engines and brakes to new tires, you can get a variety of auto maintenance assistance from the experts at Long's Garage Complete Auto Service. And this summer, beat the heat and come into Long's Garage for an AC check. Since 1941, Long's Garage has offered expert repair services. Visit them today at 503 East Main Street in Urbana, just east of Schnucks.
It's summer clearance in Hoopston at your favorite Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Ford dealerships. See us for amazing deals. Jeep Cherokee up to $4,500 in incentives or 0% for 75 months. Fun-loving Jeep Renegade up to 3 in rebates or 0 for 72. Ram Workhorse up to $7,000 in incentives or 75 months at 0% at the Ford store. Super Duty Ford truck up to $6,500 off and the always popular Ford Explorer up to $5,000 off. Wrap up summer with a new vehicle near the intersection of routes 1 and 9 in Hoopston.
From buyers and sellers inspections before the sale, protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. We also provide radon testing with results back in 48 hours. From Champaign to Savoy and Gifford to Gibson City, protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. Get more details and schedule your inspection today at aamarshall.net.
For nearly a decade, Prospect Bank has operated as a part of Edgar County Bank and Trust Company. And recently, we consolidated our operations under the Prospect Bank name, a name that reflects who we are today and where we hope to go in the future. Hi, I'm Eric Volkman, Prospect Bank President and CEO. I'm here to tell you that thanks to the trust this community has shown us over the years, our bank is growing. And you're going to see the Prospect name in lots of new places across Illinois. Learn more about how we can help you at bankprospect.com.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Sure, we've been called a mom and pop store. We take it as a compliment. After all, we are family owned and operated with 2 generations actively involved, and 5 of our team members have been with us for around 20 years each or longer. We run our business with old-fashioned customer service as our foundation, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Add our great selection of hand-picked mattresses, all proudly made in the USA at guaranteed lowest prices, and we're sure you won't find a better deal anywhere. Visit us and experience the Illini mattress difference today.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
All right, parents, every one of you got to have the college money talk. And don't rely on the classroom. It's up to you to talk budgets and boundaries. If your child is going to college, now it's time to have that money talk. Busey suggests covering these following topics with your student. Credit. Show your child your credit report. Explain how their behavior with credit cards will impact their financial future. Banking. Open up an account in their name at your bank, making transfers easier. You can even set up overdraft protection. 3, fraud protection. Explain the importance of keeping private information private. 4, budgeting. Show your child how to create a budget. And college debt. Kids need to understand the magnitude of the expense of college. Many don't. Busey understands the demands of back to school. Simplify your finances with their mobile and online services and educational resources. Visit Busey.com or call 1-800-67-BUSEY or stop by one of their many convenient locations today. It is the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Jeremy Warner flies solo. We got Cardinals baseball coming up. They're at Boston at Fenway Park tonight, so you can listen to that here loud and clear on ESPN Radio 93.5. Pregame starts at 5:15, so we're off the air a little early today. But this just in, this has been rumored for a long time, and it's finally come to fruition. This from Michael O'Brien from the Chicago Sun-Times. Adam Miller, Peoria Manual's star point guard, has transferred to Morgan Park, according to his source. The 6'3" rising sophomore is one of the top prospects in the nation. He has a scholarship offer from Illinois. I believe Kansas has recently offered as well. Miller played with the Mac Irvin Fire on the EYBL circuit this past summer. Here's Joe Hendrickson from June. Quote, Miller is a dazzling point guard prospect. He shoots it, passes it, and plays with imagination. He was a big name coming into high school and has lived up to the early hype. More importantly, Miller's arrow is still pointing straight up. This is one of the top talents in not only the state, he is the top talent in the state in 2020, but he's also one of the top talents in the country. A lot of people think he can be a 5-star prospect, probably the best prospect out of Peoria since Sean Livingston. We're talking that level, Sean Livingston, Frank Williams kind of level, a kid who's going to be most likely a McDonald's All-America candidate. That stinks for Peoria and for Central Illinois to lose that. For Illinois, is it better that he's at Peoria Manual or Chicago Morgan Park? That depends on Chin Coleman, right? I mean, Chin Coleman seems to be doing well with Ayo Dosunmu. And we'll see how strong that relationship is. I said Ayo Dosunmu is the test recruit for Chin Coleman. Paris Parham, I think, did a good job recruiting Chicago. I think he didn't get a lot of help from his head coach, and the winning obviously didn't help. But Chin Coleman has the early litmus test with Ayo Dosunmu, who's got Illinois and Xavier basically in his top 2. Now Kansas has become involved. They're not pushing for him as much of a priority as Illinois and Xavier is. So now you have Adam Miller and Ayo Dosunmu, for one, on the same high school team. Think of that team next year. I mean, you have just those two by themselves, and then Morgan Park always has a bunch of other talent as well. So this is the Irvins, the Mac Irvin Fire. This has been rumored for a while. Stinks for Central Illinois fans that you won't be able to see him so close, but he will be at Chicago Morgan Park. We'll see how strong that relationship will be, because it hasn't been here recently. I mean, you can go back the last couple of years. Charlie Moore, you felt like you were in really well there. Didn't end up getting the kid, goes to Cal, you recruit him a second time, he ends up going to Kansas, right? Bill Self and them swoop in at the last minute there and able to get him. And then who's the other kid? Austin, that came from California? Marcus Levette. You seem to have a good relationship there. The academics didn't work out with him to get to Illinois, but that'll be interesting to see. Adam Miller, now at Chicago Morgan Park, how that affects that recruitment. But obviously that Morgan Park team with 2 of the best guards in the country, let alone the state. All right, coming up next hour, we'll get the send-off of an intern, David Morrow, and we'll recap a little bit of what we've done so far in the show. We'll be here for about 10 more minutes, talk sports with you right here on the Tay and J Show.
Home is where the art is. It's where every day begins and ends. It's a place for big occasions and small. Home is where stories unfold and where they are told. We may leave, but we always come home again. First Financial Bank can help you achieve the home of your dreams. Talk with one of our friendly loan officers and we'll help you find the loan that's right for you. Consider it our way of saying welcome home. From First Financial Bank, Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Take advantage of a great summer special for braces at Illini Smiles Dental Care on Springfield Avenue in Champaign and at Angel Smiles Dental Center in Rantoul. Schedule an appointment today for a free consultation for braces with our orthodontic experts. Illini Smiles and Angel Smiles will present an individualized treatment plan based on your personal needs to give you the care that you deserve. Not only does Illini Smiles and Angel Smiles take your insurance, they're also in network with many PPO plans, which means lower costs for you. Plus, save up to $600 off orthodontic services if you start your treatment before September 1st. Don't need braces? Schedule a back-to-school checkup for just $50, which includes a school exam and x-rays. In Champaign, call Illini Smiles Dental Care at 356-3335. Or in Rantoul, call Angel Smiles Dental Center at 892-8868. Angel Smiles in Rantoul also takes the medical card for most dental services for children 21 years and younger. Take advantage of these two great specials. Save up to $600 off braces if you start before September 1st. Or a back-to-school exam and x-rays for just $50 at Illini Smiles Dental Care and Angel Smiles Dental Center.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Hail to the orange. Hail to the blue with Game Day Spirit Fan Store. Game Day is the exclusive retailer of this year's Hail to the Orange t-shirt. Don't miss out on getting yours. Find the exclusive Hail to the Orange t-shirt at any of the Game Day Spirit locations or order online at GameDaySpirit.com. Youth, adult, and extended sizes available in the BOGO section at Game Day Spirit. Located at 519 East Green Street in Campustown and now open at their new location at 1602 South Neal Street in Champaign. Game Day Spirit. Go Illini!
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
The president tried to talk about infrastructure. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. But speaking at New York's Trump Tower late today, the president instead again found himself defending his statements about weekend violence in Virginia.
I've condemned neo-Nazis. I've condemned many different groups. But not all of those people were neo-Nazis, believe me.
Fox's Rick Leventhal was there.
It very quickly escalated into a discussion about what he said about Charlottesville on Saturday and his follow-up comments on Monday and whether he went far enough on Saturday and whether he went far enough on Monday. The president stuck by his statements. He said there was blame on both sides, but what happened in Charlottesville was a horrible moment for our country. The president said that the driver is a disgrace. You can call it terrorism. You can certainly call it murder, but what he did was a horrible, horrible thing.
The president also critical of the counter-protesters, some of whom, he says, were violent as well. About infrastructure, the president announced he's signing an executive order designed to speed infrastructure projects by streamlining the permitting process.
This over-regulated permitting process is a massive, self-inflicted wound on our country. It's disgraceful.
The president says he believes he will get some Democrats to vote for his infrastructure legislation when it's introduced in Congress. With North Korean leader Kim Jong-un seemingly backing away from threats to send missiles near Guam, the State Department looking for an opening for better dialogue. But spokesperson Heather Nauert says they're not seeing it yet.
They would have to show some serious steps and some serious indications that they would be willing to sit down for talks.
Nauert says the North would also have to show it's willing to stop its nuclear program for meaningful conversations to take place. Close, but no 22K closing on Wall Street today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average finishing up more than 5 points to close the day at 21,999. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500 both down slightly. Fox News, fair and balanced.
For every gun owner, pulling the trigger in lawful self-defense is the absolute last resort. None of us want to do it, but what if you have to? Have you considered the serious financial and legal consequences that could come from just doing what you had to do to save your life or the life of a loved one? I'm Dana Lash with the NRA. I carry my firearm every day. But the truth is, right behind your firearm, your second most important self-defense protection is a rock-solid carry policy. That's why I believe in NRA Carry Guard. It's the most comprehensive coverage and training for those who carry. Developed by the only brand gun owners can trust to have their backs, no matter what. NRA Carry Guard members can choose up to $1 million in insurance-backed protection, plus 24/7 access to a first response crisis management team, an online video library, and much more. Learn more and sign up today at nracarry.com or call 1-866-NRA-1234 to become an NRA Carry Guard member right now.
Federal prosecutors investigating violence and vandalism on Inauguration Day in Washington are running into resistance as they look for cyber evidence.
The web hosting service DreamHost is fighting a Justice Department search warrant designed to produce electronic data for the website DisruptJ20.org, a site that helped organize protests surrounding President Trump's inauguration. DreamHost, in a court filing, argues the warrant requires IP addresses, website pages viewed by visitors that would identify political dissidents. The company says the search warrant cannot survive First Amendment scrutiny. The Justice Department says the website was used in planning and organizing a violent riot that occurred in Washington, D.C. More than 200 people were charged. Protesters broke windows and set fire to a limousine. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
It's Election Day in 2 states. Alabama Republicans are holding a primary in the race to replace Jeff Sessions in the Senate. Alabama Congressman Mo Brooks says he's optimistic.
As things stand right now, we're cautiously optimistic that we'll be in a runoff with Roy Moore, which will send shockwaves to Washington, D.C., that we're tired of a do-nothing Senate.
The president has endorsed Senator Luther Strange, who was appointed to fill the Sessions seat temporarily. A GOP primary is also being held in Utah to pick a candidate to run for the congressional seat vacated by Congressman Jason Chaffetz, who resigned. The Energy Department says it will sell 14 million barrels of oil from the country's strategic reserves in the next 2 weeks to raise money for the government and for medical research. Under laws signed by former President Obama, there are almost 680 million barrels of oil in the reserves, far more than needed. Israel says it's delivered thousands of meals to Sierra Leone as that country recovers from a deadly mudslide. Israel's foreign ministry says enough food for 10,000 meals has been delivered. Medical aid to Sierra Leone now on its way. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News Radio.
Just blew Harry's mind right there. Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you cool all summer long. Call 866-EXPERTS or you can visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight, a low of 63 degrees. Wednesday, thunderstorms, high 85, low of 72. Thursday, thunderstorms, high 83, low of 63. Right now, 88 feels like 95 in Champaign-Urbana. It is the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Jeremy Warner flying solo today with the help of Harry Black, David Morrow, Jack Long, and Austin Berkland running the board for me. A little bit of a preview of what the Jeremy Warner Show will be, 9 to 11. It is weird saying that. It's going to be weird, as Lon said yesterday, not saying the Tay and J Show. We'll probably stumble on that and say that a couple times coming in and out of breaks, but I've missed in the first hour. I gave my thoughts, and I'll give you a little bit more. Juan gave his thoughts yesterday. I did not know he was going to say all that stuff at the beginning of the show. We did not tell each other. I actually had planned on saying stuff, saying my thoughts about the future of us, and that's more about what it is, the Tay and J Show right now. We'll talk more about what the Jeremy Warner Show will be next week when we start that show from 9 to 11 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5. But the biggest thing I wanted to get across is that, you know, Lon and I professionally, I'll miss the Tay and J Show. I'll miss this show and what we made and what I'm proud of what we made. But the biggest thing I'll miss is Lon, just personally. We've shared a lot of experience. He's been my radio spouse, as I like to say. He's been an older brother for me. We've shared a lot, not just on the air, but a lot in life, and he's one of my best friends. So I'll miss that camaraderie, and obviously you lose touch with people. I hope I don't lose touch with Lon all that much, but it's natural that we won't see each other every day, so that'll happen. But I'm excited about the Tay and Carp show. I'm excited for Carp to have his name on a show and to be able to put his mark on something that's his, and I'm excited for Lon to be able to do that as well without me. And then, I'm excited to see what a solo show will be like. Austin Berkland, who's here with me today, will be a huge part of that, and he'll grow as a radio guy. I've grown a lot, and Lon's been a big part of that. And Lon really helped me become a better radio guy. I think we did for each other, and that's why it worked. So it's a bittersweet week, and it really hasn't hit me fully. I think it will when we're signing off on Friday. You'll get us for 6 more hours. We do have shorter shows this week because the Cardinals are on the East Coast, but you'll have us for about 6+ hours left on the Tay and J Show throughout this week. So I'm going to cherish it. It's meant something to me. Obviously, it's been a big part of my life, but life has different stages, and this has been a quarter of my life, basically. It's been spent on the Tay and J Show. I started as a 23-year-old boy, basically, right out of college. A year or two after college, I had some other jobs before it, and I wasn't a radio guy. And now I consider myself at least partly a radio guy, and I think we've gotten to be pretty good at it. So now it's a new venture for me, but the Tay and J Show has been a great experience, and a big part of that is due to Lon Tay. So we'll have 3 more shows together. I'll cherish those, and we'll be on each other's shows. You'll hear us together a little bit more, but just wanted to hit on that a little bit before I left again today. We do have Cardinals Red Sox tonight. Mike Leake against Rick Porcello, the all-time series, as I said before. 20-18 Red Sox, and these teams have played in 4 World Series. The Cardinals took both in the 1990s, or 1900s, I should say, 46 and 67. The Red Sox took 04 and 13. Mike Leake against Rick Porcello, and Austin, you mentioned the Spider-Man meme that is out there that Mike Leake and Rick Porcello are basically kind of the same guy.
Yeah, just big-time, great ERA, short spurt, great ERA guys. And
innings eaters.
Yes.
Just kind of consistently give you 5 to 6 innings. You know what you're going to get out of them. But Rick Porcello, I said earlier in the show, kind of a guy you knew was going to be a big drop-off after his Cy Young season. I didn't think he was the Cy Young guy last year. Had a great year statistically. It felt fluky, and it has been. Now he's got a 4.63 ERA, 6-14 record, kind of the opposite of what he was last year. But throughout his career, he's just been a guy that trot out there, gives you innings, gives you a chance, and that's all he needs to be for the Red Sox. That's what they're kind of paying him, kind of Mike Leake money to do.
And this is why you can't trust wins and losses record, because this year the offense of the Red Sox hasn't been as spectacular. They haven't had that David Ortiz glue, and the bullpen has struggled a little bit for the Red Sox this year, and that's shown in Rick Porcello's record. Rick Porcello is the culmination of the Red Sox.
And the Cubs are back to being back.
Yes.
Like they had, a 2-week span there where they're on
game
fire.
And a half up, guys. We're all good. The Chandler relaxed meme, we're all set now.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing bad teams. And the Cubs have been great against bad teams, as they should. That's not saying anything bad about the Cubs, but they're a talented team who should kill the Reds. I mean, you should take 3 or 4 from the Reds. The poor Joey Votto, who's having an MVP season. Nobody's talking about him. That's a bad team. You got Kyle Hendricks, who's been really good the last couple of starts, against Luis Castillo, who's been good the last couple of starts for the Reds. But then you get 2 guys who the last couple of starts they've had coming up this week, Scott Feldman and another Reds pitcher I can't even think of at the top of my head. Yeah, the next couple of days, you have a 10 ERA over the last couple of games. So Chris Bryant's hot. He's having a similar season, actually, to last year. Some of the counting numbers are off, but the ratios are all there. He's getting red hot. Anthony Rizzo's getting red hot as well. We also talked a lot on basketball recruiting. The news, Adam Miller now going to Chicago Morgan Park. Peoria Central kid last year, now going to Morgan Park. And Zion Griffin not having Illinois in his top 4, but Illinois State is, along with Iowa State, Pitt, and Kansas. It's one of the most interesting top 4s I've ever seen, but it seems like something did not right. Well, I know something did not go right on Zion Griffin's visit. Maybe he didn't feel like he was a top priority. We'll see if that comes back to haunt Illinois. But I did want to give David Morrow, get that microphone, David Morrow. You've been here all summer. How long you been here, David?
A couple months.
Couple months.
In June.
What will you remember about your Tay and J Show experience? What did you take away from this?
Oh man, a lot, honestly. I'm glad I was here for the end of it. I got to kind of see the repertoire between you and Lon, and even Carp, and I think there's a lot to learn from that. You guys have a great chemistry on air, which is something you just don't see that often. And yeah, I'm a little bummed you guys are going separate ways, but I'll tune into the shows, both of them.
Cue the Journey, separate ways reference. You can't include me as a reference after you said such nice things. What's next for you, David?
Well, I do enjoy radio stuff, and I've enjoyed this experience, but I do think of myself more as a writer, editor, so I hope to go into writing about sports in some capacity, or just some kind of journalism.
A great NBA follow, by the way.
Awesome. Thank you, David. We appreciate your work here, man.
Yeah, thanks.
So we love these guys that come in and leave an impact, so we appreciate David and his time here. If you ever need anything, kid, let me know. Thanks to you guys for listening tonight. Red Sox Cardinals coming up next.
Got a shot.
328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. 328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. We have pull and we're hooked on you. Tapman's Towing.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
There's a time for work, there's a time for play. There's a time to do things you don't do every day. There's a place to go for tools and machines and people with knowledge about these things. We've been here since 53 to meet your rental needs. When the time comes, we're the place for everything. Rental City.
Hi, it's Corey with Max Twin City Recycling. We pride ourselves on giving the area an outlet to recycle and get paid for their unwanted metals. We're taking our community focus a step further with our Recycling for a Cause program. Each month, Max Twin City will choose a different local charity to feature in an effort to raise money for those causes. Visit maxrecycling.com for a complete list of program details.
Cardinals Nation Restaurant inside of Ballpark Village in downtown St. Louis. Welcome to the Amarin Pregame Show. Chris Raby with you on the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network as we get ready for the first of a quick two-game set in Boston at Fenway Park between the Cardinals and the Red Sox. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your week. A day off for the Cardinals yesterday as they flew from St. Louis to Boston, having won 8 of their last 9 and finding themselves right back in the thick of the National League Central Division race. Coming up, we'll talk all about the Cardinals' recent surge, what's gone into it, and how they move forward. We will check in with manager Mike Matheny at Fenway, have the first word from the ballpark as well. Mike Claiborne with Cardinals pitching coach Derek Lilliquist. I'll visit with Dan McLaughlin to open the reporter's notebook as he gets set to call the action on Fox Sports Midwest. And Craig Unger, president and general manager of the Memphis Redbirds, fills us in on the Redbirds clinching a postseason spot on Sunday in our Monsanto Farm Report. All of that as we get set for Mike Leake to take on Rick Porcello. First visit to Fenway for the Cardinals since their World Series defeat in 2013. But the Redbirds flying high, having won 8 of 9 games, 4 games above 500 at 61-57. A big part of the reason why some contributions from some players up from the farm. It's our Central Bank of St. Louis replay.
DeYoung is 0 for 4. The pitch.
A swing and a high fly ball deep left field. DeYoung got into it, and it's a gunner in the Royal bullpen. 2-run homer. Paul DeYoung is 16th of the year. 11-2 Cardinals.
These guys are going to make adjustments on me, and I got to do the same to them. And really, it's about getting a good pitch to hit, whenever that case may be.
A swing and a high fly ball. That's powered deep left center field to the track near the wall, and it is a home run for Paul DeYoung. Just getting out of here over the Hall of Fame sign.
I think this is who I can be every day. I think this is the type of player that I am, and
so I got to worry about getting on base more and passing the line, but I'm definitely going to hit for power.
There's a swing and a high fly ball. Deep left field. DeYoung has hit an 8th-inning home run. His 18th of the year. And the Cardinals are down 5-2.
He's been devastating, hasn't he?
Boy, he's something. 7th inning on. How about Paul DeYoung? Unbelievable 18 home runs on the season, and he has been so darn good for the Cardinals recently over their 8-game win streak and the 8 wins in 9 games. DeYoung with 4 home runs, 10 driven in, and he has been absolutely lighting up the box scores. He has been so good. His average was 277 at the start of that win streak, now up to 297. He raised it by 20 points. That's our Central Bank of St. Louis replay, your hometown bank of the St. Louis Cardinals. DeYoung playing shortstop and batting third tonight as the Cardinals open the quick 2-game series at Fenway Park against the Red Sox. MLB.com @bat is your #1 mobile app for live Cardinals baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Cardinals home screen icons, app features, and game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and news. Download MLB.com @bat today. Not just the Cardinals who are surging. How about the Memphis Redbirds? 40 games over 500 and punching their ticket to a division win and the postseason on Sunday in Nashville. Craig Unger, the president and general manager of the Redbirds, joins us next for the Farm Report on the Ameren Pregame Show on the Cardinals Radio Network.
Hello, this is Shane Coulter of Country Arbors Nursery. Country Arbors Nursery is home with a giant $5 mum. You simply won't find a nicer mum anywhere for only $5. And this year we added a super giant mum in a 5-gallon pot that's only $15 if you buy 3 or more, half the price of other stores. But let's not forget what we do best, trees and shrubs. We're fully stocked with tens of thousands of large trees and shrubs to help you fill all your landscape needs. And all our trees are on sale. Take 20% off any tree you buy from Country Arbors this week. So come out to Country Arbors Nursery or go to countryarbors.com for more information and directions.
The ribeye has the best, the greatest steak in town.
If you're looking for Champaign-Urbana's great steak place, it's the Ribeye Restaurant. Still with their famous salad bar and their delicious seasoned fried shrimp and delicious grilled chicken entrees. The Ribeye Restaurant, 1701 South Neal Street in Champaign. For reservations, call 351-9115.
The ribeye is the best. We're the one, the great one steak place.
Awesome Machine Sales and Rental wants you to take charge of your yard with Toro. Toro has the quality you expect and dependability you deserve from your lawn equipment. Awesome Machines and Toro has the right machine to keep you inside and cool this summer season. With push mowers starting as low as $269 and zero turns starting as low as $22.99 with 0% financing available. Simply awesome. Awesome Machines Sales and Rental, Route 45 in Savoy, Route 36 in Tuscola, and online at awesomemachines.net.
Hey, it's Stevie J. Have the roof your home deserves. For your next roofing project, why don't you go with Roof Doctors, a locally owned and family-operated business for over 25 years. They use superior materials. They're a certified shingle contractor, so they can offer a 50-year non-prorated full system warranty, and they won't loan your work out to subcontractors. Hey, Roof Doctors has worked on my home, and the results are fantastic. But don't just take it from me. With an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau, Roof Doctors has plenty of satisfied customers. Get a free quote at roofdoctorsco.com.
Pleasure to have a couple of minutes to chat with our buddy Craig Unger, general manager of the Memphis Redbirds. Not just the first place Memphis Redbirds, but the division clinching Memphis Redbirds on Sunday, August 13th. Craig, congratulations on so far a heck of a season, and wow, clinching a division and clinching a playoff spot in mid-August is pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, it's we actually heard from the Pacific Coast League office today, and they were trying to do some research to see if anyone has clinched a playoff spot this early ever before. It is pretty unusual. Typically in a lot of divisions within AAA baseball within the PCL, 5-10 games over 500 will a lot of times get you into the playoffs. So to be where we are today of 40 games over 500 is really a testament to this team. And despite ups and downs and players coming up to help St. Louis, crawl their way back into playoff contention. They've stuck together as a team, and they find ways to win, and it's been a lot of fun to watch.
Well, it looked like a heck of a celebration in Nashville, and now the Redbirds are at home for the rest of this week into next week, and some really fun home dates coming up over the next couple of weeks. We'll talk about playoff packages and the playoff tickets that are available right now, Craig, but still great opportunities for folks to get to the ballpark, whether they're in St. Louis or anywhere in Cardinal Nation. We were down there for the game at the end of March. The ballpark is just incredible, the work that you and that Peter Freund and your whole staff have done. And you guys have come up with, aside from the winning baseball, some really, really fun promotional nights, and it seemed like AutoZone Park has been rocking and rolling all season.
Yeah, we've had a great season both on the field and off the field, and we spend a lot of time talking about the promotions, and it's not always about the baseball side. But this year the baseball's been doing a lot of talking. But we've had on Thursdays, and if you want to come down to AutoZone Park this weekend, make a long weekend of it. Thursday night we have our all you can eat nights, and this is something that we rolled out last year. And this week is all you can eat tacos. The ticket price is $1 more than just a regular ticket. And with that $1 more, you get all you can eat tacos this week. Thursdays are also $2 beer night, so you can come down and have a great night, enjoy some great baseball, see the future Cardinals playing and winning, and enjoy all you can eat tacos and beers. Friday night we have a special edition of our world famous fireworks show, and if you have never seen a Memphis Redbirds fireworks show, it is something to be seen. We shoot right from the middle of center field. The proximity to the fireworks is part of the experience. It's about a 10-12 minute show. It is worth coming down for to see. That'll be after Friday night's game. Saturday's game, I will tell you, is sold out. It is completely sold out. It'll be our final fireworks of the year. It is sold out. And then Sunday we play in the afternoon, a matinee game, so you still have time to come down, see the game. It's a very short drive, about 4 hours from AutoZone Park to Busch Stadium. So, kind of plan your trip. You can still be home Sunday evening and be at work on Monday. And we got a lot for us, still a lot of season left until we start the playoffs the first week of September.
Go to MemphisRedbirds.com for tickets, information, and those playoff packages. Thank you to Craig. We'll hear more from him tomorrow on the Monsanto Farm Report. When we come back, we open up the reporter's notebook with Danny Mac, Dan McLaughlin at Fenway, getting ready for the Cardinals and Red Sox for Fox Sports Midwest. We get ready right here on the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network.
This is Rick Horton. No matter what life throws at you, you need options. After all, a good pitcher doesn't just throw fastballs. For 25 years, Vitae Foundation has effectively used media and research-based messaging to help women find options when faced with an unexpected pregnancy. Healthy options and caring support. What women deserve when life throws them a curveball. Vitae Foundation, a real game changer. Learn more at adsforlife.org.
Okay, so you're driving a sport utility or crossover utility vehicle and you like your utility without it being utilitarian. You should demand the same from your tires. The remarkable Cursor HSX Tour tire from Mastercraft, specially designed to look great, ride great, and perform even better. With a striking sidewall and tread design molded to an advanced silicon-fused tread compound for a breakthrough all-weather performance. The Cursor HSX Tour, only from Mastercraft.
Visit Tire Monkey today.
Hi, I'm Dan Moyson, owner of Simplified Computers. Whenever we get sick, we see the doctor. So what do you do when your computer is under the weather? Malware, spyware, viruses, whatever the ailment, Simplified Computers has seen it. For over 20 years, we've been fixing issues others can't. For both residential and commercial customers in the Champaign-Urbana area, call Simplified Computers at 352-5000. That's 352-5000. Simplified Computers, simply the best.
It's all about the best beef, the best pork, and of course,
the sausages.
At the U of I Meat Sales Room. If Coach Ditka lived in CU, I'm sure he'd buy his meat from the U of I Meat Sales Room. The beef is great, the pork is great, but
the sausages
are delicious. Smoked sausage, Italian sausage, Polish sausage, and even brats. It's all fresh, locally produced, and locally grown. Visit the U of I Meat Sales Room near the corner of Lincoln and Florida in Urbana.
sausages.
Sure, we've been called a mom and pop store. We take it as a compliment. After all, we are family owned and operated with 2 generations actively involved, and 5 of our team members have been with us for around 20 years each or longer. We run our business with old-fashioned customer service as our foundation, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Add our great selection of hand-picked mattresses, all proudly made in the USA at guaranteed lowest prices, and we're sure you won't find a better deal anywhere. Visit us and experience the Illini mattress difference today.
When your car breaks down, you realize just how much you need it. And when it breaks down, Beaumont Alignment Plus steps up. For routine maintenance like brakes, oil changes, tune-ups, batteries, and tires, you can count on Beaumont Alignment Plus. Bigger issues including alignment, suspension work, starters, alternators, transmission requires specialists. So get to know Beaumont Alignment Plus for your vehicle repairs. With locations on Bloomington Road and Denison Drive in Champaign, you're never far from the help you need. It's good to know the quality service is still affordable at Beaumont Alignment Plus.
Well, we head to Boston to open up the Reporter's Notebook. Dan McLaughlin, TV voice of the Cardinals, of course, on Fox Sports Midwest, joining us from Fenway Park. Dan, what's it like to broadcast a game in a ballpark like that?
It's wonderful. I love being at the older ballparks. I had a chance to go to Old Yankee Stadium and do Roger Clemens' 300th win and 4,000 strikeout game against the Cardinals. Certainly anytime you go to Wrigley Field, it's special, and that's the same when you come to Fenway. There's this great history here, and you think about all the players that have stepped inside that batter's box and the great pitchers that have pitched here. It's really just something, if you're a baseball fan, you got to take in.
Yeah, and certainly the neighborhood around Fenway, as they have improved the ballpark, the neighborhood has changed and evolved, and they're doing the same thing in Chicago. They've done the same thing to some extent with Ballpark Village here across the street. Do you like being in the city of Boston, walking around, kind of feeling the energy of that city in the summer as well?
Good way to put it, energy. Yeah, there's a lot of energy, and I can tell you, walking around the city today, and we don't stay too far away from the ballpark. A ton of Cardinal fans are here, so I'm sure when the schedule came out, they got their tickets. Maybe for some families, it's the final time that they can take a vacation before school starts. So a lot of Cardinal fans are here at Fenway Park today.
What a stretch it's been for the Cardinals, winning 8 of 9, right back in the division race, right back in the wild card race. What's been the biggest difference over the last week and a half for you, Dan?
Well, I think the difference is clean baseball. I think when I watched the Cardinals play the last month or so, yeah, there's been a few blips here and there, but they've only committed, I believe, 6 errors in the last 27 games. And so when you play clean baseball, you don't see a lot of walks. The strikeouts are down for the team offensively. And then you have the emergence of a Paul DeYoung and a red-hot Colton Wong who's hitting over 400 in their lineup. You know, all those things add up to winning baseball. And that's really the thing I see most that stands out for me, the fact that you're seeing a much cleaner style of baseball from the Cardinals.
And the offense has been so good with these 2 games at Fenway. You get an opportunity to use the DH to keep Jose Martinez's bat in the lineup and line up a pretty good defensive outfield in that quirky park.
Yeah, absolutely. So Martinez will serve as the DH tonight. He'll bat 8th. And then you got Tommy Pham in left. You got to get used to the wall out there. Dexter Fowler in what can be a very spacious center field. And then Randall Grichuk will be in right. There's so many little nooks and crannies to the ballpark. The Cardinals are going to take batting practice or have. And one of the things that you noticed is that those outfielders are going out early. And even I got to the ballpark around 2 o'clock. Even before then, they were out looking at how the ball comes off the green monster, where you want to position yourself, those types of things. So you got to get used to it. It's only a 2-game series, but you got to try to get ready for it.
I want to go back to Colton Wong for one moment. And in terms of his all-around game this year, not just offensively, 307 batting average, an OBP of almost 400, but what he's doing defensively, what he's been able to do on the base paths, is he getting enough credit for in a season where guys have been in and out of the lineup? There have been some guys that we've talked a lot about up from Memphis, but he has been as consistent as anyone when he's been healthy. Is he getting enough credit for that, Dan?
Probably not, and I think it's a good point. I think when the Cardinals, and I mentioned it when you said, well, what's been the difference, with the team? I think a Colton Wong that's producing and playing good defense is a big part of this, and showing his very good range, which he does have, and making the routine plays. But what I see is a guy that we've talked about it, and I'm going to work with Tim McCarver tonight on the telecast, and Tim has talked about it time and again where you just can't get pull happy. You got to be able to slap the ball a little bit and take that pitch on the outside corner and go the other way. Where before that outside pitch is being rolled over as a ground ball and it's a 4-3, you don't see that with Colton Long. He's taking the ball the other way, and he actually is hitting left-handers very well too. So one of the things now that Mike Matheny gets, and we don't talk about this, is that when the Cardinals face a lefty or a lefty comes in to face Wong late in games, he's not pinch hitting for him. He's letting him hit against those lefties. So all that coming together for St. Louis with Colton Long at second base.
Well, if you're with Tim, I know there will be some good eating, only there for a couple of days, but what's on the Boston eating agenda? Is it a legal seafood move? Is it the North End for some Italian? What are you guys enjoying?
Well, I'm really disappointed because Tim has his grandson here and family, so normally he's
so he's not taking you out.
Restaurants, he's the guy that will take us everywhere and get us to the finest restaurants in America. But you know what? I guess I'll let him pass this time because he's got family here. But that's only going to be a one-time pass. I can let you know that for sure.
Danny, have fun. We love hearing you and Tim on the broadcasts. It'll be a great couple of days in Boston before heading to Pittsburgh, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for the time.
Anytime. Thanks, Chris.
All right, thank you to Danny Mack for opening up the reporter's notebook with us. When we come back, we'll hear from the manager, Mike Matheny.
I'm not going to say that much about the hot or streak or anything along those lines because I just believe we're a better team now than we were before, and I want our guys to continue to believe that there's even another level there for us.
Man, how the Cardinals have been hot, winning 8 of 9, 61 and 57, and tonight taking on the Red Sox at Fenway. That's where we head next in the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network.
When you were a kid playing Little League Baseball, you probably dreamed about being on the field at Busch Stadium. Now that dream is going to come true for 30 lucky fans thanks to Procter & Gamble and Schnucks. They've teamed up for a special home run derby at Busch Stadium, and you could be one of 30 fans who win the chance to spend time on the field learning fundamentals from former Redbird players. Look for the home run derby display currently at Schnucks stores for your official text-to-win number. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 or over. Enter now to be one of 30 winners and hit one out of the park. Offer good August 9th through August 22nd. See Schnucks stores for details.
Grandpa, what's a sacrifice fly?
Well, it's when a batter hits a fly ball to drive in a run. He gives himself up.
He gives himself up for his friend?
Well, yes.
Grandpa?
Yeah?
I want to be a Cardinal when I grow up.
The minute your grandson became a Cardinals fan. Marriott St. Louis Grand. Best place to take in the boys of summer. Book this minute at MarriottStLouisGrand.com to get great deals on tickets and to be steps away from Busch Stadium. Let's play ball.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy. At Body and Soul, they take pride in giving you the perfect fit for your athletic shoes. Their team of experts will help you in selecting the style that fits your purpose and your feet. Body and Soul has offered the best prices and best quality for more than 30 years. And they aren't just shoes. Whether it's walking, running, swimming, or biking, or whether it's for you or the whole team, visit Mike or Jed and their experienced staff at Body and Soul, Route 45 Savoy. Call 356-8926 or visit soulsports.com.
You can fly at Champaign. You can fly Willard Airport. You can fly Champaign. You can fly. Our airport is your doorway to the sky. So pack your things, spread your wings. You've got business to do. People who expect you. You can fly Champaign. You can fly Willard Airport.
It's summer clearance in Hoopston at your favorite Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Ford dealerships. See us for amazing deals. Jeep Cherokee up to $4,500 in incentives or 0% for 75 months. Fun-loving Jeep Renegade up to 3 in rebates or 0 for 72. Ram Workhorse up to $7,000 in incentives or 75 months at 0% at the Ford store. Super Duty Ford truck up to $6,500 off and the always popular Ford Explorer up to $5,000 off. Wrap up summer with a new vehicle near the intersection of Routes 1 and 9 in Hoopston.
Let's head to Fenway to hear from the manager, Mike Matheny, always brought to you by Webster University.
Well, Mike Matheny, your take on your club the last 10 days and what this team has accomplished going out and playing the game the way you kind of envisioned this team playing.
Yeah, just to me, a great, I think, reward for staying the course and continue to believe in each other and trust in the process. And the process, whether it's at-bat to at-bat or kind of from the bigger standpoint of going about things to improve in every area of the game, and if you trust that, then you're going to be where you want to be. And right now we're in mid-August. We're right in the middle of it, right where we want to be, and trying to get one of our goals, which is winning our division. And I'm just excited the guys have seen a good little push here of the kind of baseball that we should be playing.
Even when you lost 3 out of 4 Milwaukee into that first game against the Cincinnati Reds, you didn't play badly at the start of that trip, did you?
No, and I think you even look probably for 3 weeks prior to that, there were a lot of one-run games. There were a lot of games where we had and then we kind of gave away, or games that were taken away from us. And those are I think real trying times for teams when you're playing pretty good. You're playing good enough to win, and then something gets in the way of actually finishing it off, and that's really where a team can almost fold a little bit. But this, I continue to talk about the toughness of a team, because that's what you see when you have those really hard losses, those ones where, say, you do lose it in the 7th or 8th, or even in the 9th when you had a lead, or you had a couple runs that were right there for you and that doesn't happen. That can take a lot more wind out of your sails than maybe even a game that's a little more lopsided. But the guys just continue to stay the course, play the game hard, and figure out ways to get better. And next thing you know, you go on one of those runs. But it just tells you how much you got to respect the game, and at any time, any team can take off.
The last time you played the Red Sox, we had this pitching matchup, Mike Leake against Rick Porcello, and you jumped on Porcello, who hasn't had the season this year. He had a year ago, but I noticed he's won his last 2 games and has looked much better.
Yeah, and you also look at his quality starts. He's had quite a few that have earned him losses too. I mean, he's just a pitcher that knows what he's doing, a lot like a Mike Leake, a pitch maker, has an idea how to stretch the zone and which guys he's trying to capitalize on, and just get back to those grinding at bats that have kind of allowed us to have the little run that we've had. I think those are going to be very important against a pitcher like Porcello.
Don't you think the opponents know right now that even though they may have a lead, that you're going to get that tying run up there some way, somehow?
Yeah, I think they have a respect for the fact that any team, when they're hot, is going to be a tough team to beat, and you could certainly say that about our team. But I'm not going to say that much about the hot or streak or anything along those lines, because I just believe we're a better team now than we were before, and I want our guys to continue to believe that there's even another level there for us.
I know that this is a streaky game, Mike, but I agree with you. I think it's all about the quality of play.
Yeah, and just the process of tackling each issue as it comes individually, and for us as a team, we talk so much about base running. You're seeing some improvement, quite a bit of improvement there. There's so much talk about our defense. We have seen drastic improvement there as well. Our outfield play, the infield play, and I think the guys need to step back and take a look. Okay, you know what? We're better in these areas, and when you become better in those areas, you're going to have a better result. And I know a number of them still talk about, there's more in the tank, and just getting this feel of what it's like to get right to the stretch and be right where we are is just that little extra push that we need, and excited to watch how they respond to some further challenges that are coming.
You have played games in this ballpark, managed in this ballpark. Your feeling about Fenway?
I like it. I like the history. I like all the old parks where I can remember going through the data of all the great names who've played here and sat in this dugout and been up in that tiny little clubhouse, and it's humbling, but had a lot of bad memories too, walking through this musty tunnel right here of hanging our head in a couple different World Series, and don't care to have that happen again.
Mike, at least they got rid of the boards down there that used to click and clack as you walk back through the clubhouse, and you don't have to slip on those anymore.
No, it felt like you were walking the plank. But once again, and we talk to the young players as they look around, it's about the size of a high school locker room, and just say, hey boys, before you start complaining, just remember that long list of Hall of Famers who've sat in these exact same lockers, and it's an honor to be able to play in a place like this.
Go get them, Mike.
Thanks, John.
All right, the Skipper always brought to you by Webster University. We head to the booth at Fenway next on the Cardinals Radio Network.
At American Eagle Credit Union, their goal is to help you achieve your financial dreams. Sure, they offer a variety of products and services, but their employees do more than just provide options for financial services. They provide personal service to ensure you are achieving your goals. Let them show you how committed they are to ensuring everyone is treated like a neighborhood friend. Check them out online at www.ameaglecu.org. American Eagle Credit Union. Membership eligibility required. Federally insured by NCUA.
Top athletes know the right nutrition can make all the difference. It's the same for many of the nation's top show dogs. They count on Purina Pro Plan. And with more than 100 formulas available, your pet can too. To get expert recommendations for your dog or cat, plus helpful tips, go to proplan.com/myplan. That's proplan.com/myplan. Purina Pro Plan. Nutrition that performs.
Hey, it's me, your old AC. We need to talk, man. I am out of hair. Trust me, it's not going to get much better. I need to be replaced. Call the experts and get a new air conditioner that will save up to 50% on energy bills. Go ahead, do it. I'll be right here. Whew.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, save up to $3,100 on a new home comfort system. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
There's never been a better time to stop smoking and switch to vaping, to save money you're spending on cigarettes, to experience new flavors, new selection, and new savings. There's never been a better time to stop in and see the difference at Vapors E-Cigs, LLC. Vapors E-Cigs has the most knowledgeable and caring staff, inviting atmosphere, along with the best prices on juice and hardware. They also have an amazing reward system to help you earn savings along the way, including discounts on juices, coils, and even 70% off a kit. Now's definitely the time to stop by Vapors E-Cigs LLC.
If you really want to enjoy life's celebrations, you need to call Rosati's Pizza for their comfortable catering package for 10 for just $92.35. Rosati's will serve you along with your friends, families, and coworkers a delicious lunch or dinner for under $100. Feed them all with Italian beef, pasta salad, and garlic bread. It's all about good food at Rosati's. Having a party, picnic, hosting a celebration? Call Rosati's for their comfortable catering package for 10. Rosati's Pizza, 701 South Gregory in Urbana, or call 328-2334.
Hanson's Auto Repair in Urbana is a family-owned and operated full-service garage. For over 40 years, they've offered friendly atmosphere, quality work, and reasonable prices. Whether it's an oil change, brake service, or engine replacement, Hanson's Auto does it all. They're a locally owned dealer who cares, providing fast, comprehensive, and expert service. Family-owned, operated, and trusted since 1966. Hanson's Auto Repair, 1202 East Washington in Urbana. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. Visit them online at hansonsautorepair.com.
Fenway Park in Boston, stop number one of two cities on the road trip for the Cardinals, and Ricky Horton. The Cardinals are looking to get back into the win column.
Yeah, they've played so well the past couple of weeks. They dropped that last game, but still winning 8 out of 9. It's a different Cardinal team, John, than we saw from 3 weeks ago. The bats have been very, very good. Of course, when you go to Boston, you're going to get good pitching. They've got the best ERA in the American League.
They have a guy named Rick Porcello who was a big winner last year. He had perhaps a career year, and this year he has struggled, even though he's had some quality starts. The Red Sox just didn't get enough runs, and they have the last 2 outings that he has won.
Well, the other problem he's had is keeping the ball in the ballpark. He's a strike thrower, exactly like Mike Leake is on the Cardinals side. He's given up 28 home runs, and that's a ton of home runs. And you'd expect home runs, of course, at Fenway Park. It's the very short left field wall here at the Green Monster, 310 down the left field line, and it's a 37-foot wall that the hitter feels like is right behind him. I know that feeling. It's a tough thing to pitch in his ballpark. You have to get that out of your head. And he has had trouble with the home runs. Of course, the Cardinals have a lineup where they can get home runs up and down the lineup.
The Cardinals honored the 1967 World Champions earlier this year at Busch Stadium, and tomorrow the Red Sox are honoring their 1967 American League champions.
And I understand most of their team will be on hand, too. That's going to be fun to watch that. Of course, we just came off the 87 National League Championship celebration, which is a celebration of the team that didn't win the World Series in 87. So it is a nice thing, and it's nice, of course, that the Cardinals are here in town. I think that'll bring back some memories for those guys, and I hope they have as good a time as I had this past weekend.
Well, so far, Jed Jerko's in the starting lineup tonight.
Well, that's good to see. The Cardinals could use him. He's 0 for his last 7, but we understand why now, because he'd been bothered with a bad knee. I think another interesting thing, John, about this game here, Game 1, is you've got rookies in the third spot for both teams. Paul DeJong for the Cardinals, who has been carrying the offense. He's been outstanding, 18 home runs for DeJong. He's hit in 4 straight. And Andrew Benintendi, I'm looking forward to watching him play a couple of days, and hopefully the Cardinals can contain him, but he too is a rookie hitting in that third spot.
The Boston Red Sox in their division are 25-23, leading the Yankees by 4.5. The Cardinals are a game and a half behind the Cubs, and in the NL Central, the Cardinals have gone 20-28. What do you think of that, Chris Ravy?
I think a great opportunity for the club guys, especially as well if they've been playing. And a big part of that is pitching. Mike Claiborne with Derek Lilliquist next on the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network.
You're at the ballpark every day, crouching down, catching heat, all but invisible. Your job lacks fame and glory, but offers plenty of distracting aches and pains. That's the life of a bullpen catcher. You can't afford to lose focus. Neither can your team. So be prepared with ACE braces, supports, and elastic bandages. And don't be distracted by pain. ACE brand products available at Walmart.
Instead of cycling on and off like most heating and cooling systems, True Comfort Variable Speed by Train runs at quiet speeds. Yes, it's hard to stop a train. Now, it's hard to hear one.
In addition to unstoppable products, we also have an unstoppable offer. Buy a qualifying system and get special financing for 15 months. Visit traininfo.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions. Subject to credit approval. That's traininfo.com.
It's hard to believe that it's already time to start preparing for another school year. But luckily for you, Champagne Surplus has what you need to be stylish and comfortable all semester long. They've got Patagonia pullovers, the North Face backpacks, Smart Wool socks, Camelback water bottles, Merrill shoes, and everything else you need to head back to campus. And don't forget that Champagne Surplus is CU's exclusive Patagonia dealer. So stop by Champagne Surplus today for all your back-to-school needs. Champagne Surplus, 303 South Neal Street, downtown Champaign.
For 25 years, Prairie View Landscaping has been the premier locally owned and operated lawn care provider in Central Illinois. Quality products and services aren't just something they say, it's something they do. Prairie View Landscaping is a full-service company, a one-stop shop for all your lawn care and outdoor needs. So call Prairie View Landscaping today at 355-9422. That's 355-9422. Or email Wendy at mypvdiscount@gmail.com. That's mypvdiscount@gmail.com. Prairie View Landscaping, serving Central Illinois for 25 years.
At Body and Soul, they take pride in giving you the perfect fit for your athletic shoes. Their team of experts will help you in selecting the style that fits your purpose and your feet. Body and Soul has offered the best prices and best quality for more than 30 years. And they aren't just shoes. Whether it's walking, running, swimming, or biking, or whether it's for you or the whole team, visit Mike or Jed and their experienced staff at Body and Soul, Route 45 Savoy. Call 356-8926 or visit soulsports.com.
If you really want to enjoy life celebrations, you need to call Rosati's Pizza for their comfortable catering package for 10 for just $92.35. Rosati's will serve you, along with your friends, families, and coworkers, a delicious lunch or dinner for under $100. Feed them all with Italian beef, pasta salad, and garlic bread. It's all about good food at Rosati's. Having a party, picnic, hosting a celebration? Call Rosati's for their comfortable catering package for 10. Rosati's Pizza, 701 South Gregory in Urbana, or call 328-2334.
Have a chance to visit with Cardinal pitching coach Derek Lilliquist, and let's talk a little bit about your group. They have really stuck with this all season long, made this thing quite interesting, quite fun to watch.
Yeah, ever since spring training, the focus was one start at a time, one pitch at a time, controlling counts, trying to keep the ball on the ground as much as possible, and to this point it's been pretty good.
How much has the game changed from a pitching standpoint? Let's say when you first broke in and the way you were taught to where we're at now, because it seems like if you can get through the order twice, 21 outs, that's a good night's work.
Absolutely. And since I pitched it, there's been an evolution in terms of of what hitters are today compared to what they were. There's growing up and pitching, there's more high ball hitters. And now it's more of a mid-thigh to knee. Guys are elevating the ball, getting it up in the air, and the ball is really going. So puts a real premium of being able to get ground balls.
Throw in the fact that you have a lot of guys who have multiple pitches they can now throw. I mean, let's face it, there wasn't long ago where a guy had maybe 3 pitches. You have some guys that can give you 4, maybe 5. I'm not sure if they're good at all of them, but they can show them to you.
Absolutely, whether they're using 2-seamers, 4-seamers, cutters, curves, slurves, sliders, fork balls, whatever. It's a whole different look and a different dynamic, and we just go out there and to what we see.
You pitch in an era where a guy who was a relief pitcher was more of a fireman. Then he stuck around to get somebody else out in the 8th or 9th inning. Where has it changed? Because we see guys now who only can give you 1 inning, or it's a clean inning. And it's not that they can't do it. It's just what they've been trained to do.
There's a thing to be said about a guy that can get the last out of a game, and that's big time. Not any animal can do that. Some guys are perfectly fine getting lefties out and righties out, but some guys are solely only left-handed. So,
when you look at guys today, when you see them in trouble, what are you trying to do when you got your 30 seconds? You're trying to calm them down. Is it a mechanical observation? And I'm sure you have multiple things you can look at, but what's the most common thing you run across today?
Probably them worrying about things that have already happened to carry over to another pitch. Whether it's a non-play or whether it's something affecting them mentally, go out there and just get them focused on the next pitch. Basically giving them a scenario where they can get a ball on the ground and pitch to their strength to that hitter.
We talk a lot about pitch count these days, but, man, I see more 0-2 to 3-2 situations than I've ever seen.
Yeah. Our approach is staying in positive pitching counts, 0-1, 0-2, take a shot at the chase and make it a 4-pitch at bat. Doesn't always happen that way, but that's a good approach to have.
Keep up the great work in the bullpen, and, when people talk about great pitching coaches, they need to consider Derek Lilliquist. You've had a masterful career, certainly here in St. Louis.
Thank you, Mike.
Hey, Cardinal fans, there's another MVP in our community, Rankin Jordan Pediatric Bridge Hospital in St. Louis. Rankin Jordan transitions kids with complex illnesses and injuries from acute care to home. They not only work with the child, but also the families to make the return home possible. Rankin Jordan is the only pediatric bridge hospital in the country using care beyond the bedside to get kids out of their beds and back to living. To learn more about Rankin Jordan, their inpatient and outpatient programs, or to find out how you can give, visit rankinjordan.org.
Hey Cardinal fans, Ozzie Smith here for Ameren, Illinois. When starting an outdoor project, Ameren, Illinois reminds you to look up and pay attention to power lines, including those connected to your home. And if you're building a new deck or room addition, make sure you maintain required clearances from the lines to keep you and your family safe all year long. A safety reminder from your friends at Ameren, Illinois. Energy at work.
Want to save money you're smoking and spitting away? Want the friendliest, most knowledgeable staff to help you along the way? Vapors E-Cigs LLC is the place for you. Let their amazing staff help you find the best hardware and juice for you. Earn reward points you can use for discounts on coils, juice, and even 70% off a kit. Do you already vape? Go check out their over 30 premium lines of juice and amazing selection of hardware. Located at 1903 North Neal Street in Champaign and 2 East Main Street next to the courthouse in Danville. Now's definitely the time to stop by Vapors E-Cigs LLC.
You can fly Champaign. You can fly Willard Airport. You can fly Champaign. You can fly. Our airport is your doorway to the sky. So pack your things, spread your wings. You got business to do. People who expect you. You can fly Champaign. You can fly Willard Airport.
Okay, U of I Meat Sales Room theme song, take one. The Meat Boat. Soon we'll be grilling another steak. I'm pretty sure that's already been done before. Take two. I'll eat meat with you. I'll eat burgers and fries. And again, already been done before. Take three. Meat. Meet. The U of I Meat Sales Room on Maryland and Urbana. They may not have clever theme songs, but they do have the best meat in town.
There's a time for work, there's a time for play. There's a time to do things you don't do every day. There's a place to go for tools and machines and people with knowledge about these things. We've been here since 53 to meet your rental needs. When the time comes, we're the place for everything. Rental City.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Oh, we got to make Paul DeYoung our UMB player to bank on, right? He starts at shortstop, and it's third tonight over the homestand, 429, 9 for 21. He was 7 for 13 with 2 home runs in the Braves series. He's got 4 home runs and the 10 driven in for his last 10 games. Paul DeYoung has been fantastic. Chance to play at Fenway Park tonight, and he is our UMB player to bank on. Mike Leake and Rick Porcello, Cardinals, just a game and a half behind the Cubs, who host the Reds. Milwaukee gets Pittsburgh at home, and the Diamondbacks already lost. We'll catch up with all the scores post-game, but next we head back to Boston for baseball. John Rooney and Rick Horton have the call. This has been the Ameren Pregame Show on the Cardinals Radio Network.
328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. 328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. We have pull and we're hooked on you. Tapman's Towing.
At Body and Soul, they take pride in giving you the perfect fit for your athletic shoes. Their team of experts will help you in selecting the style that fits your purpose and your feet. Body and Soul has offered the best prices and best quality for more than 30 years. And they aren't just shoes. Whether it's walking, running, swimming, or biking, or whether it's for you or the whole team, visit Mike or Jed and their experienced staff at Body and Soul, Route 45 Savoy. Call 356-8926 or visit soulsports.com.
If you really want to enjoy life's celebrations, you need to call Rosati's Pizza for their comfortable catering package for 10 for just $92.35. Rosati's will serve you, along with your friends, families, and coworkers, a delicious lunch or dinner for under $100. Feed them all with Italian beef, pasta salad, and garlic bread. It's all about good food at Rosati's. Having a party, picnic, hosting a celebration? Call Rosati's for their comfortable catering package for 10. Rosati's Pizza, 701 South Gregory in Urbana, or call 328-2334.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
Baseball is brought to